Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The End of the World. The Green Dragon Fruit at the Beginning. Chapter 1. Ao Shin, you haven't gotten over the shadow of broken love yet. Ao Shin met her roommate Zhang Cheng while running in the morning. He said hello with a smile and continued his morning jog. Tisk, tisk, it seems that falling out of love has hit him hard. Zhang Cheng sat on the playground bench and opened his textbook. The early morning air was perfect for early reading. Ao Shin quickly completed her daily morning jog of 5 kilometers. After taking a short rest, she began to perform strength training on the horizontal bar. Occasionally there were classmates who knew him on the playground in the early morning, but they all sighed and smiled. Until a pair of young and beautiful men and women passed by, and the boy asked curiously, Man, isn't that your ex-boyfriend? Why are you still insisting? He hasn't given up on you yet, and wants to get in good shape and win you back. The girl called Man just glanced over there and then turned her head with disdain, hugged the boy's arms to her chest, and said coquettishly, whatever, Man will always be Brother Shang's. Quote. Ha. The girl's tender words made the boy extremely happy. He quietly reached out and kneaded the girl's plumpness, then glanced at Ao Shin who insisted on exercising, and a Dragon King's smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Pretty boy, straight A student, good shape. In this world, nothing is as powerful as money. Ao Shin, who was working out hard, did not see this scene. It has been a month since he was reborn. And he was reborn on the day he was dumped by his girlfriend Wu Man. But this time, he didn't hold back at all. After the breakup, he started crazy physical exercise. He was so crazy that he didn't attend many classes. Even if the teacher gave him a warning about failing the class, he remained indifferent. The end is coming, will you fail the exam? Then hang up. As a reborn person, he is well aware of the horror of the last days. If it weren't for something in this city, he might have dropped out of school and gone home to prepare for the end of the world. Unfortunately, this apocalypse is different from the one described in other online articles. In this apocalyptic world, you have a gift from God. The day before the end of the world comes, the first God-given devil fruit comes to every corner of the world. If you get the devil fruit, you will gain extraordinary power. This kind of power is the capital to survive in the apocalypse. As for storing materials, completely useless in the face of strength. In his last life, he lived to the second God's gift period and saw countless powerful men who destroyed the world. Now that you are reborn, of course you must take advantage of the profit and seize every possible advantage. In addition to fruits, if you want to survive in the apocalypse, you need a good body, which is why he has been working hard to exercise. As a result, he was treated as if he was in love and was hit hard. After completing the strength training, he leisurely entered the school cafeteria to have breakfast, completely ignoring the ringing of the class bell. After dinner, I took a walk outside the school as usual and went to a fruit shop called Good Life. According to past life reports, a devil fruit appeared in this fruit shop. However, he didn't know the specific time when this devil fruit appeared. Therefore, after being reborn, he would come to this fruit shop every day to buy some fruits and see if the devil fruit had appeared. Hey, the little brother is here again. The shop owner was an ordinary middle-aged woman. There were not many customers at this time, and she sat bored at the door eating melon seeds. After seeing Ao Shin, he greeted him with a smile. Ao Shin's handsome appearance is already eye-catching, not to mention that he has been coming once or twice a day for the past month, and the boss is even more impressed by him. So much so that now you can get 10% off when buying fruits at Ao Shin. Aunt May, have you eaten? Ao Shin also greeted the boss with a smile. Entering the store, he walked around one by one as usual, not missing every piece of fruit. When he walked to the peach area, suddenly, 2 short purple branches caught his attention. Pulling open a large group of peaches buried above, the body of this short purple branch was clearly exposed. Under the purple branches are yellow leaves, and under the leaves is the body of the fruit. The whole body is oval, and the surface is a dark greenish-blue scale-like structure. Yes, it is exactly the same as the fruit in my memory. This is the devil fruit of Yonko Kaido in the world of One Piece, animal-type fish fruit phantom beast species azure dragon form. It was reported by later generations, who knew the exact location of the fruit, the strongest one. Great. Ao Shin was overjoyed. Ha, Why is there such a strange fruit? Behind him, Aunt May came here at some point and was surprised to see the devil fruit in his hand. Naturally, my aunt doesn't watch One Piece. Even if she has, no one thinks that these strange fruits that suddenly appear are really devil fruits. Even if someone eats it on the spot, it will not awaken any abilities except that it tastes so bad that it makes them want to vomit. Only when the end of the world comes can those who eat the devil fruit be able to activate these abilities. Ao Shin also pretended to be confused. Aunt May, this is your stall, don't you know? Aunt May shook her head. I sell fruits, how can I get one of these things? Ao Shin took the bag to put the fruit and said to Aunt May, this strange fruit is very beautiful. Why don't you just give it to me? I will go back and put it on the desk as a decoration. Aunt May didn't think there was anything wrong. No one would buy such a strange thing. The boy who came to his store every day to buy fruit seemed very pleasing to his eye, so I gave it to him. Okay, Aunt May gives it to you. Ao Shin quickly thanked. Thank you, Aunt May. After checking out and carrying a bag of fruit, I just walked out of the store when a rather sturdy middle-aged man came face to face. Ao Shin glanced at him, looking familiar. But soon, a face from his previous life merged with the man in front of him. Astonishingly, he was the eater of the blue dragon fruit in his previous life. Ao Shin secretly thought that luckily, if he had come a step later, the green dragon fruit would have been bought by this person. Returning to campus, now that the devil fruit has appeared, it means that the end of the world is not far away. Turning on his phone, he started to book a ticket home. This fruit is a guarantee of strength. With it, he will not let his family suffer any harm in this life. Although he still knew the locations where the two devil fruits were refreshed, he was running out of time and wanted to get home as quickly as possible. I quickly booked my ticket for the 5 p.m. train. While packing his luggage, he called his father. Dad, are you at work? There is something I want to tell you. He carefully considered his words and asked his parents not to go out recently. Their parents would definitely not agree. They are all working class people and it is not easy to ask for leave. If he said that the end of the world was coming, his parents would definitely not believe him, and they would even think that he was mentally disturbed. After thinking for a while, he said, Dad, I will go home at night, can you not work overtime at night? Father Ao Kong was a little surprised. What's wrong, Xiao Shin, aren't you approaching the final exam soon? Why do you want to go home suddenly? Ao Shin said, I miss you, and there is something I want to tell you. Seeing what he said, Ao Kong just said, okay, I'll tell the department that we won't work overtime tonight. Aha! After hanging up the phone, Ao Shin took out the devil fruit from the bag. It looked so beautiful. If you eat it now, you won't get the ability. You need to wake up after the end of the world. However, if the fruit is not eaten for a moment, there will be one more variable. He no longer hesitated, picked up the fruit, and took a bite. Vomit. It was as if the swill bucket had been mixed into the septic tank, rinsed in it a few times with a rancid rag and stuffed into the mouth. He was so disgusted that he almost vomited. But he still held back. In his last life, what didn't he eat in order to survive? Mental tenacity is no longer a flower in the greenhouse. Holding back her nausea, Ao Shin swallowed the pulp. Another cruel move, he simply swallowed all the remaining pulp. The peel, core, leaves, short purple branches, swallow them all. For a long time, he took a deep breath. The seeds of the miracle had been planted, and he was waiting for the miracle to happen. After taking a sip of water and eating another peach, he took out his phone and started browsing short videos and post forums. A fruit that looks like a devil fruit suddenly appeared in our orchard. Family members, this is so amazing. Is it really a devil fruit? Sure enough, as soon as he opened the short video, he saw a viral video. In the video, a young man is standing in the orchard, taking pictures of a strange-looking grape that appears on the grape trellis. This grape is dark red in color and covered with strange white lines, which is in sharp contrast to the normal grapes around it. Devil fruit. Someone commented under the video, you are thinking about shit. Haha, this must be a deliberate stunt by the blogger. I want to cut leaks. Believe it or not, he will be able to mass produce a large number of these so-called devil fruits very soon. If you have the guts, eat one and see if you can get the superpowers from One Piece. In addition to this video, there are several similar videos. Some of them were seen at fruit stalls, and some were found on the grass. There was even one blogger who claimed that the fruit he bought was a normal fruit and he had left it at home for 2 days without eating it. Today, when he saw it, it had turned into the shape of a devil fruit. The people who eat melon naturally don't believe it and say that the scammers are getting better and better now. Some people encourage them to eat it. Some people are afraid to speak because of this strange shape, and they are regarded as guilty. HMPH. This must be a handicraft. That's why the blogger dare not eat it. Maybe what kind of chemical dye was used to create the texture on the surface? Do they dare to eat this kind of fruit? However, there are also people who do not believe in evil. At this moment, a well-known beauty anchor is broadcasting live. Not only is she sweet and funny, she is also a senior celebrity. She was the one who said that the fruit at home turned into devil fruit. Although netizens ridiculed her, saying that she was doing a gimmick to gain traffic. But this little beauty knew very well that she didn't move any hands or feet because the fruit at home had mutated. Is it really a devil fruit? The beautiful anchor murmured in her heart. At this moment, netizens were asking her to take a bite. After hesitating for a long time, she gritted her teeth and prepared to face this challenge. Okay, since the brothers in the live broadcast room asked me to eat it, then I will eat it for everyone to see. She was willing to go all out. Even if the fruit mutated or went bad, it would still be a big deal if she had to have her stomach lavaged. She thought so. While picking up the strange fruit, he put his cell phone in front of him, ready to dial 120 at any time. In the live broadcast room, Ao Shin was also among the audience. When he saw the shape of the fruit, his heartbeat immediately accelerated. Because he knew that this was a real devil fruit, and it was not a fake at all. Try sending a barrage in the comment area. Anchor, don't eat it yet. I'm willing to pay to buy this fruit. You set a price. His level was very low and he didn't have a light sign turned on. This comment was quickly lost among the comments. But he continued to send comments without giving up. Perhaps because he kept posting such comments, some people found it funny, and others actually followed suit. The beautiful anchor noticed these comments and knew they were joking. She smiled, revealing 2 cute dimples. Don't make fun of me. I don't know what this fruit is, and I don't know how to sell it. I'll eat it in front of everyone to see if it's a devil fruit. After saying that, she took a deep breath, opened her small mouth, and put the apple-like fruit between her lips and tongue. The camera even showed a close-up of the mouth. It must be said that her ability to gain millions of fans is not only due to her beauty, but also her ever-present temptation, which she has mastered extremely well. Even Ao Shin swallowed unconsciously when he saw this scene. Phew, the fruit juice is overflowing. The disgusting taste spread in the little beauty's mouth. Her delicate brows suddenly knitted together, and her face felt bitter and she wanted to spit out the pulp in her mouth. The attentive audience immediately noticed the change in the beauty's expression. The host's expression shows that this fruit is super unpalatable. It can't be real. Devil fruits are inherently unpalatable. But some viewers who thought they were sensible retorted, that's nonsense. This is obviously the fruit that has gone bad. I don't know how she made the fruit into such a strange shape, but it is obviously inedible. That's right. Don't eat it, Anchor. Spit it out quickly. It won't be good if you eat it and damage your body again. Many viewers persuaded the beautiful Anchor to spit it out, but many others continued to encourage her. Haha, are you serious about acting? Who wouldn't frown? If you can, just eat it and see if you can get superpowers. That's right. Do you think the audience is all fools? Or are you just trying to make a show to earn traffic? The little beauty didn't see the various words in the comments, because she was about to shed tears at this moment. Tears welled up in his eyes, blocking his vision. She swore that she had never eaten anything so awful in her life. Instinctively, she wanted to spit it out, but as a senior Hamey, she was unwilling to do so. It was obviously an ordinary fruit that turned into a devil fruit, but she knew she wasn't showing off. Hatefully, with a grunt, she swallowed the pulp in her mouth, and quickly drank several sips of milk tea to dilute the disgusting taste remaining in her mouth. Taking one bite of a devil fruit is the same as eating it all, so I can take one bite. Then, she began to look forward to her changes together with the audience in the live broadcast room. If it were a real devil fruit, what abilities would I gain? When the audience in the live broadcast room saw her actually swallowing the pulp, countless gifts immediately flew up. In just a short time, the gifts she received were worth a week's worth. 666. The anchor really ate it. Her disgusting expression doesn't look like she's faking it. Maybe it's really a devil fruit. That's right, I didn't see her even crying. If it's just a show, how can you be so real? The anchor is not an actor. Discussions continued in the live broadcast room, and everyone was closely watching the changes of the little beauty. Unfortunately, as time passed by, she still didn't change at all. Anchor, stand up and move around. Feel the changes in your body with your heart. People with abilities don't always know their specific abilities immediately after eating the fruit. Haha, you idiots, are you serious? It's so easy to cheat money from Oedipus these days. According to netizens, the beautiful anchor jumped up and down and did yoga, hoping to channel some mysterious power. And her movement is undoubtedly a generous benefit to the countless men in front of the screen. Unfortunately, no matter how hard she tried, there was no change in her body. There was no change, and the little beauty became depressed. There were cynicism and comfort in the live broadcast room. Ao Shin has quietly left at this moment. No change is normal. He didn't want to remind the little beauty of the coming apocalypse, she was just a stranger in the online world. I browsed around the major short video platforms and post bars, and entered an ID into the search box. Clicking on the first video, it was exactly the same as what I saw in my previous life. In the video, a wretched young man with yellow hair held up a strange fruit and showed off, "Brothers, have you seen this fruit?" He placed the fruit closer to the screen to make its appearance clearer. This fruit was golden in color and also had black curly lines, but its surface exploded like thunder and lightning. The yellow-haired young man laughed. "Did you see it? Thunder fruit. Does anyone want to buy it? I will auction it in the comment area. The highest bidder will win." Ao Shin was very excited after seeing it. Although he has already eaten the green dragon fruit, he cannot eat the second one. However, when the end of the world comes and everyone knows the value of devil fruit, one fruit is worth $1,000. This is the most important exchange resource. Even if he doesn't need to exchange it, he can still give it to his parents and his sister. Or, it's not completely impossible to eat a second devil fruit. However, that requires strength, luck, and opportunity. Without leaving a message in the comment area, he directly sent a private message to Huang Mao named Mr. Gao Gui Mao. "Brother, this fruit is well made, just like the real thing. I want it. You must also know that those people in the comment area are making noises. You can tell me what price you want. If it is reasonable, I will buy it immediately." In a small county town next to the provincial capital of Jizhou, a yellow man was walking on the street. But he was always paying attention to his phone. When he heard the phone vibrate, he quickly clicked on the background. Ao Shin's private message made him overjoyed. He quickly added Ao Shin's friend and said to him, "Brother, this is a real devil fruit. I can't ask for more than $1 million. Ao Shin, really, why don't you eat it? If you sincerely want to sell it, just give me a normal price, otherwise I will block you." Huang Mao scratched his head and asked tentatively, "Then, 100,000. He lowered the price tenfold, but he also knew that a devil fruit figure was not worth the price. But what if the person opposite was stupid and had too much money? Ao Shin is certainly not stupid. He knows that when the end of the world comes, he will not be able to buy even one piece for 100,000 or 1 billion. Moreover, it is a rare natural type, extremely famous thunder fruit. Of course, when the money system collapses in the last days, the billion he mentioned is the equivalent price. Pretending to be impatient, he replied, "The price is 1,000. The price for a figure of your quality has already reached the top." Huang Mao sighed. He still wanted to make more money. But 1,000 was more than he expected. Originally, he thought he could buy 500 or 600. 1,000 yuan is enough to live comfortably for a while. He immediately replied, "Okay, you give me the money and I will send it to you." But Ao Shin was not happy. "You are not a merchant. What if I give you money and you don't give me the goods? I see you are in Jizhou, which happens to be the provincial capital of Jizhou. Give me your address and I will go find you and do business face to face." Huang Mao doesn't care. How can he rob me right in front of me? After reporting his address, Ao Shin immediately said, "Okay, I'll be there in 3 hours." He went out and called a taxi directly. After paying extra and promising to take a round trip, the driver agreed to take him to the next county. Speeding all the way, in less than 3 hours, he had arrived at the county station mentioned by Huang Mao. At this moment, Huang Mao is also waiting here. After getting off the bus, the driver stopped here and waited. At a glance, he saw Huang Mao playing with his mobile phone. "Noble Mr. Mao." Huang Mao raised his head and asked tentatively, "Are you the one who bought the devil fruit?" Ao Shin didn't waste any time and nodded immediately. "Give me a payment code. I will scan the code to pay once I see if the fruit is genuine." Huang Mao was still a little unhappy and wanted him to pay first. Ao Shin smiled and said, "Why, are you afraid that I will default on your debt? This is your territory." Huang Mao was right when he thought about it. He was quite famous in this gangster world. If this person dared not pay him, he could call a group of good brothers with just one phone call. Ao Shin took the bag in his hand and took out the fruits inside. The heartbeat speeds up unconsciously. Real. It is true. Based on his past life experience, this devil fruit is definitely real. He immediately scanned the QR code and gave it to Huang Mao. He took the fruit back to the taxi and continued back to his school. If there were no trains in this small county, he would have just boarded the train here and gone home. On the way back, he turned on his phone and watched short videos. Suddenly, a video caught his attention. Today, many patients suddenly fell into coma, and many people also had strange spots on their bodies. Experts say this is most likely a new type of influenza. We urge everyone to wear masks and take protective measures. When he saw this news, his heart skipped a beat. Coma and spots appeared on many people's bodies, which are all precursors of the end of the world. The outbreak of the apocalypse may occur earlier than in previous lives. But he couldn't remember the specific world where the end of the world began, and could only roughly judge it by the fact that devil fruit began to appear. He quickly picked up his cell phone and called his father. "Dad. Have you seen the news? Those people who suddenly fell into coma and had spots on their bodies." Ao Kong said, "Do you still need to look at it? Our hospital has a lot of them now. Everyone is too busy. I will probably have to work overtime at night. It is impossible for me to ask for leave in this situation. You, your mother, and your sister eat first. You don't have to wait for me." After saying that, he hung up the phone without giving Ao Shin any time to explain. Ao Shin dialed again, but the phone was already busy. He knew he couldn't convince his father, so he had to call his mother. "Mom, have you seen the news? Many people are in coma and have spots on their bodies. I heard some inside news here. This is a very serious infectious disease. Our school has been closed. You should also ask for leave and go home. Bring Xiaochen back, it is no longer safe outside." He directly made up a lie, "Just this once. Please take a day off. Wait until I read the news bulletin in a few days." After finally convincing his mother, he prayed in his heart that he would not explode so quickly and give himself time to go home. When the taxi returned to the school gate, he immediately ran back to get his luggage. Now there was less than an hour left before the train departed. However, as soon as he entered the dormitory, he saw several roommates hurriedly making phone calls and getting hot towels. When I walked in, I saw my roommate Wang Fan lying unconscious on the bed, with light spots on his face. Those are corpse spots, a precursor to zombie transformation. Everything is exactly the same as in the previous life. In his previous life, Wang Fan was also in a coma, but because there were too many people in the city who were comatose at the same time, the ambulance was overwhelmed. They had to put him in a taxi and take him to the hospital. As a result, just after arriving at the hospital, the apocalypse came. Wang Fan turned into a zombie and bit Zhang Chang on the neck to infect him. These roommates got a wooden board from somewhere and were lifting Wang Fan onto the board. But Wang Fan was so fat that several people couldn't lift him off the bed even after a long time of effort. Just when he saw Ao Shin coming back, Liang Yu shouted, "Ao Shin, come and help. Lao Wang is too fat, we can't handle it." Ao Shin works out all day long and doesn't even attend class. They are very suspicious that this kid wants to transfer to a sports school. But at this time, it was the person who needed strength who waved to him. However, Ao Shin ignored them completely, grabbed her luggage and prepared to go out. The virus has appeared, which means that the end of the world will come at any time, and he must hurry up and go home. Seeing him leaving, several roommates were shocked, and Liang Yu stopped him angrily. My roommate is in trouble, and you still want to leave without helping me. But where does Ao Shin have time to talk to him? In the last life, after they sent Wang Fan to the hospital, the end of the world came within a few minutes. Wang Fan turned into a zombie and rushed towards them. In order to save his life, Liang Yu actually pushed him down to block Wang Fan's pursuit. If you were not destined to be lucky, you would have to explain where you were at the beginning of the end of the world in your previous life. His pupils narrowed slightly, and the murderous aura he had honed in life and death in his previous life burst out unconsciously, shocking Liang Yu who was blocking the way. He unconsciously took a step back. Ao Shin pushed him away, grabbed an equipment bag from the corner and walked out the door. When I was going out, I heard Liang Yu scolding me behind me, "Who are you? It's okay if you don't help, but you pushed me." He was angry that he was intimidated by Ao Shin, who had become very abnormal since being cheated and dumped. After thinking for a while, he muttered to himself, "I'm not as knowledgeable as a lunatic." However, when Liang Yu was about to go out to ask for help from his classmates in the dormitory next door, he suddenly heard a scream from behind him. Ah! Screams resounded throughout the dormitory. Not only were they screaming in dormitory 504, but there were also many people who fainted and had spots on their bodies like Wang Fan. At this moment, an inexplicable and terrifying pressure came on, and everyone felt their hearts sinking. Then, all of these unconscious people underwent astonishing changes. I saw that the skin and flesh on their bodies rotted rapidly, emitting a disgusting corpse smell, and those spots spread and expanded. They were corpse spots. Corpse oil and pus dripped downwards. These people's eyes protrude, and their nails become as sharp and slender as wild beasts. Zombie. Wang Fan has turned into a zombie. Ao Shin recognized Zhang Cheng's voice, and the next moment, Zhang Cheng was bitten on the neck by the corpse-turned Wang Fan. When the trachea was bitten through, the zombie virus was also injected into Zhang Cheng's body. In just half a minute, Zhang Cheng's body transformed into a corpse at a speed visible to the naked eye. The corridor is in chaos. Zombies rushed out of dormitories, and countless students ran outside crying for their fathers and mothers. Ao Shin also felt a power awakening from deep within her bloodline at this moment. That force was violent and powerful. It's the power of the devil fruit I ate before. The power of the green dragon emerged from his body. He raised his head and roared, letting out a loud dragon roar. Green scales appear on the skin, which are dragon scales, and dragon horns appear on the top of the head. His hands and feet turned into dragon claws and burst his shoes. His entire body began to transform into a dragon. This sudden change immediately shocked the students in the corridor, thinking that he had become a monster like those zombies. After transforming into a human animal form, his physique has greatly increased, and his strength, defense, speed, recovery ability, etc. have all been greatly improved. At this moment, a deep roar of zombies came from behind. Looking back, he saw Wang Fan and the infected Zhang Cheng biting him. He stretched out his dragon claws, pinched their throats, and pulled off the heads of the two zombies with just a little force. Zombie blood spilled all over the floor, and the smell of blood and corpses assaulted the senses of smell of the students in the corridor. Two zombies died, and another zombie rushed out of another dormitory in front of him. Ao Shin opened his mouth and blew out a stream of hot breath. It was a scorching flame, roasting the zombies in front of him until they were charred. But after taking a breath of heat, he suddenly felt that his physical strength had dropped a lot. The ability of devil fruit relies on physical strength. Even if you gain Haki in the future, it will actually consume physical strength. The first divine gift period is a stage of physical training. He is not a ghost like Kaido, nor does he have Kaido's monster-like physique. Therefore, even if he gets the blue dragon fruit, the power he can exert is far less than Kaido. No longer breathing hot breath, he tore open the equipment bag thrown on the ground. This is a set of baseball equipment. There are baseball bats, baseballs, gloves, and other equipment. This was something he originally prepared for the convenience of taking it with him on the train. If you only carry a baseball bat, it will be regarded as a weapon and cannot be taken on the train. But if it is a complete set, it is different. It will be recognized as sports equipment and can be carried. Now that the apocalypse has broken out, the transportation system must have been paralyzed. These supporting facilities are also useless. He dropped the other items on the floor and lifted only the baseball bat. This baseball bat is a thickened and weighted version specially customized by him, which is perfect for headshotting zombies. It's not that steel knives are unaffordable, but baseball bats are more cost-effective. Although he could buy handicrafts and sharpen the swords himself, they were too easy to bend and would become useless after just a few cuts. They were far less useful than a baseball bat. He swung a baseball bat, and there was a trace of electricity wrapped around it. The green dragon fruit can control the three natural elements of wind, fire and electricity. Although its power is not as powerful as the natural system, it is enough to enhance the attack power. A baseball bat wrapped with lightning struck a zombie on the head. Just heard a loud bang. Even though the zombie's defense far exceeds that of humans, its skull was exploded by a stick. This is the powerful physique given by the blue dragon fruit. Ao Shin killed everyone in the corridor and quickly attracted the attention of other students. It was precisely because he kept killing zombies that he gave those students a chance to breathe. What is that? Why are you killing zombies? Some people were puzzled, but others saw Ao Shin's dragon transformation process. I know, he is Ao Shin from 504. He turned into this when the zombies appeared. Liang Yu, who had already run to the corner of the corridor, looked at Ao Shin with a complex expression. He didn't expect that this roommate who has never been able to get over the shadow of broken love still has such a powerful ability. But how did he obtain this ability? He looks like a dragon like this, just like a dragon man. The green dragon in human animal form is easy to recognize. This appearance that is very similar to Kaido quickly aroused heated discussion. It looks like the form of Kaido in devil fruit. Didn't it appear on the internet 2 days ago that there are strange fruits similar to devil fruit appearing in various places? Are they all true? When you said it, I also remembered it. Ao Shin, this must be the green dragon fruit. Those fruits must be real. There was a special anchor who wanted to sell it, but I and a group of people were there to laugh at me, man. I wish I had bought it. Ao Shin's baseball bat wrapped with electricity is really like thunder and gossip, and zombies are basically killed one by one in front of him. But he was not immersed in the pleasure of killing, but rushed downstairs quickly while fighting. There are two top priorities now. One is to find a way to go home. My parents and sister cannot be bullied again in this life. Another thing is to kill 100 zombies as quickly as possible. Because as long as one person kills 100 zombies, the God-given space will be opened. At that time, he can exchange it for the 3-color domineering practice method and accelerate the improvement of his strength. Qinglong can fly, but with his current physical strength, he will never be able to fly home. Swinging the iron rod, Ao Shin was like a blue dragon war god, invincible. Behind him, a large number of students also gathered, wanting to follow him out of the corridor. But what they don't know is that in the apocalypse, there is no safe place. If you hide in the dormitory and close the door, you can live longer. But he doesn't care about these, they are just disposable NPCs. After rushing out of the corridor, he narrowed his eyes. Sure enough, the situation downstairs was even scarier than inside. He was studying in a medical school, and all the anatomy teachers and the specimens produced in the laboratory, as long as they were not cut into pieces, all turned into zombies and rushed out. What's even more disturbing is that this school was once a mass grave. During the anti-Japanese war, many people died here. There are rumors on campus that there is a strong evil spirit here, and residential buildings are built here, causing many people to get sick. Later, a feng shui master suggested that a school should be built to use the young people's most vigorous and yang energy to eliminate the evil spirits in this place. Therefore, there is this medical school. Now, those corpses that have turned into withered bones, infected by the zombie virus, emerge from the ground and attack every living person they see. Help! Who can help me? There was chaos on campus, and everyone was running for their lives like crazy. They didn't choose the right path and bumped into each other. Many single and frail students were knocked to the ground by others. The stampede almost killed them. After finally catching his breath, a zombie pounced on him again and bit him in one bite. Ao Shin ignored them, looked in the direction of the school gate, and rushed towards the school gate. And his fierce appearance also made others afraid to approach him. Suddenly, two familiar figures in front came into view. A man and a woman, both wearing famous brands, but now they are in the same embarrassment. The girl has a fair face and fair skin, but her physical strength is obviously not as good as the boy's. She is Ao Shin's ex-girlfriend Wu Manman. Suddenly, a skeleton hand stretched out from the ground and grabbed the boy's ankle. The boy was shocked, but fortunately the girl beside him helped him take off his shoes and got rid of the skeleton's grasp. But this delay also allowed the zombies chasing behind to approach. The boy actually pushed the girl to the ground and ran away alone with one bare foot. The girl was desperate. She was about to bite the zombies when she suddenly saw Ao Shin killing everyone from the side. "Help, boss over there, please help me. I'm willing to do anything for you." She couldn't recognize Ao Shin's current appearance, but she felt vaguely familiar. When she saw a group of students following the Dragon Man, she felt that it must be a person, so she shouted for help. Ao Shin saw Wu Manman out of the corner of his eye, but there was no pause in his steps. It's normal for college sweethearts to break up because of girls, and he won't take revenge on them because of this. But the two have become strangers to each other since then, and they want him to save people in Dream. No longer paying attention to the situation over there, he continued to run wildly in the killing. Wu Manman saw that the boss ignored her, and endless despair surged into her heart. Finally, her heart was taken out by a zombie hand. She closed her eyes in despair, and did not even let out a scream. Wu Manman's tragic death did not move Ao Shin. At this moment, like Wu Manman, there are countless people who have died tragically at the hands of zombies. He still uses a big stick to clear the way. Whether it is a zombie or a skeleton, the fatal point is the head. Just blow the head off and it will become a real corpse. Finally, when he reached the school gate, his body suddenly froze. Not only him, but everyone, including the zombies, stopped in place. It's like the entire world has been pressed to pause time. A majestic and grand voice sounded in everyone's ears. The first God-given devil fruit has arrived, and the God-given space has opened. Then, Ao Shin's eyes went dark, and when he woke up again, he was already in a strange space. There is no space, no time, just two light screens, one large and one small. On the large light screen, there are the 4 characters, God Gift Store, and on the small light screen, there are the 4 characters, Personal Panel. Ao Shin was already familiar with these things in her previous life. They were opportunities given by unknown existences. Points can be redeemed for corresponding items. There are martial arts, combat skills, equipment, potions, etc. Points are obtained by hunting zombies. Just as he was about to go in to exchange money, the loud voice from before appeared in his ears again. Because you are the first to reach 100 points for hunting zombies, you will receive a divine reward. And because you reached 100 points within 10 minutes of the end of the world, the level of the God-given reward will increase. You can choose one of the following 3 rewards. Ao Shin was shocked. This was something he had never experienced in his previous life. But since it is a reward, it is always a benefit. He quickly looked at it carefully. Reward 1: Perfect Fruit. Make your current blue dragon fruit reach a perfect state and completely eliminate the side effects of the blue dragon fruit. After the side effects are eliminated, not only can you ignore the sea tower stone and seawater restraint, but you can also eat another devil fruit without your body exploding. Note: if you eat the second fruit, you will still be restrained by the sea tower stone and seawater until the side effects of the second fruit are eliminated, and you cannot eat other fruits. Reward 2: Hegemony Genius. No need to redeem points or practice. Directly awaken the 3-color hegemony, and even if you do not actively practice, the 3-color hegemony will automatically grow slowly. If you take the initiative to practice, the speed of your 3-color hegemony will increase. Double. Reward 3: Zombie Killing Artifact. You can get a custom type weapon, which is of the Supreme Sharp Knife level, and the damage caused by this weapon to zombies is doubled. Fruit. Domineering Power. Weapon. Choose one from 3. If he chooses 1, he still has a thunder fruit in his backpack. Once he obtains the ability of dual fruits, his combat power will be doubled at least. If he chooses the second option, his domineering training speed will be far faster than others. In the long run, the increase in combat power will be even more powerful than the double fruit. If he chooses 3, he can directly obtain a powerful weapon. Coupled with the special attack effect on zombies, he will gain points faster in the future. What to choose? 1 and 3 can increase combat power immediately, while 2 can slowly increase combat power, but the upper limit will be higher. Judging from his experience in obtaining the second divine gift in his previous life, at least by that time, domineering was not out of date. As for whether domineering will become obsolete, he doesn't know. When Ao Shin was hesitating, he suddenly remembered Teacher Kai's wise words. Domineering is the foundation. Even if Roger, Shanks, and Garp don't have any fruit abilities, wouldn't they still become invincible? In fact, in order to pursue the improvement of hockey, Teacher Kai didn't develop the fruit properly. He didn't even awaken when he fought Wong Luffy. Choose 2. Domineering genius. No more hesitation, the ability lies in the finesse rather than in the many. How powerful the green dragon fruit is depends on how strong your physique is. It is not easy to develop a fruit to its limit. The next moment, he was blessed in his heart, and he directly awakened the 3-color domineering energy. A black and weak domineering energy covered his fist. This was the color of armed force. Click on the God's Gift shop, which contains all the items that can be redeemed during the first God's Gift period. At the top of the light screen, there is an explanation about points. It is very simple. There is only one sentence. Points can only be obtained by killing zombies. The stronger the zombie, the more points you will get, and killing with hot weapons is invalid. It is divided into 4 major sections: Kung Fu combat skills, equipment, and potions. In terms of skills, there are naturally the 3 colors of domineering power: Armed Color Hockey, Information Color Hockey, and Overlord Color Hockey. That's right, here, Overlord Lust does not depend on the natural qualifications of a king, but can be cultivated. The essence of Overlord Color is a kind of momentum, which comes from the power of the soul and has little to do with the qualifications of a king. It's just that people with kingly ambitions are more determined and are more likely to feel this power. The exchange price for 3-color domineering is not much. Each item only costs 10 points, which is simply cheap. But this is for Ao Shin. It is extremely difficult for ordinary people to kill 10 zombies in total. In combat skills, there are many. The first is the 6 Navy styles, each of which requires 1,000 points to redeem. There are also various fighting skills of strong men. For example, Kaido combat skills. There are comprehensive gift packages, and there are also separate ones, such as Thunder Bagua, Roaring Thunder Bagua, Great Whitey Thunder Bagua, Zhong Sanshi Yinraku, King Kong Dysprosium, Jun Tu Li Long Shungjin, and so on. Each combat skill requires 100,000 points to exchange, and the gift package requires 1,000,000 points to exchange for all Kaido's abilities. Also included is the Drunk series. Of course, Garp's boxing skills, Hawkeye's sword skills, Zoro's sword skills, Sanji's kicking skills, Jesus Boo's shooting skills, etc. are all included. The equipment includes various types of swords, bows, guns, armors, etc. For example, the most common naval saber or pirate knife only requires 100 points. Quick knife requires 1,000 points. A good sword requires 10,000 points. The great knife requires 100,000 points. The supreme sharp knife level equipment requires millions of points. The potions include various medicines for treating injuries, poisons, and even various delicacies that can be used as food tonics to replenish physical strength and repair injuries. Among the potions, the most special one is the Blood Factor Potion, which is divided into 4 types: Toxic Powder, Spark Red, Electric Shock Blue, Winch Green, each of which can give the user an exoskeleton and a superpower. It is one of the few ways to obtain special abilities besides devil fruits. Another way is to use artificial devil fruits, Smile, and Green Blood. The former was created by Caesar. It is an imperfect animal-type devil fruit with severe side effects, and even has the disadvantage of losing its expression and can only laugh. The advantage is that it is cheap, and you only need 1,000 points to exchange for one. The latter was created by Vegapunk and can only copy superhuman abilities, and because ordinary humans do not have Lunalua blood, there is a risk of death when fusing green blood. Moreover, the copied ability has only half the effect or power of the original ability. In addition to these 4 categories, there is also the only redemption item. In other words, as long as someone redeems it once, the product will be permanently removed from the shelves and no one else can redeem it. There are two only redemption options. They are Invisible Black Blood Factor and Demon Transformation Potion. Invisible Black is Sanji's blood factor. Unlike the other four colors, red, blue, and green can make people lose their emotions. Although Toxic Pink has feelings, his exoskeleton is half as powerful. Invisible Black is the perfect blood factor. Its super defense power and self-healing power are even comparable to those of awakened phantom beasts. There is also extreme speed. When the speed is too fast for others to detect visually, it is also equivalent to a kind of invisibility. This ability is no worse than any devil fruit. There are no side effects of devil fruit yet. Of course, the price is also ridiculously expensive, requiring a full 100 million points. The demonizing potion is similar to the perfect fruit. It can eliminate the side effects of the current devil fruit, so that you can eat the second devil fruit. But it is also the only one, also worth 100 million points. 10 points were exchanged for 5 pieces of water and meat, which was food that could quickly replenish physical strength, allowing him to last longer in battle. It only costs 2 points for a piece, which is a good thing at a low price. After closing the God-given store, he opened his personal panel to view his details. Name: Ao Shin. Talent: Hidden Attribute, Domineering Genius. Devil Fruit. Fish Fruit Phantom Beast Species Azure Dragon Form. Realm: Forging -0. Combat Skills: none. Equipment: none. Points: 90. Everything is nothing, because everything has just begun. The baseball bat in his hand was not a weapon, and he didn't want to exchange the points for ordinary weapons. In terms of realm, the entire first divine gift period was in the body forging realm. It is divided into 9 realms: Copper Skin, Iron Bone, Giant Strength, Divine Feet, 5 Treasures, 6 Palaces, Chalcedony, Rebirth, Corpse Fight. The method of practice is Armed Color and Domineering. This is how to exercise. Although he had learned 3-color domineering in his previous life, in this life, if he did not have the reward of a domineering genius, he would still need to redeem it before he could learn it. What is exchanged is not so much a method as a practice license. The personal panel provides not only personal attributes, but also a communication tool. When human civilization is destroyed in the apocalypse, everyone relies on the communication function of personal panels to stay in touch. Moreover, it is divided into many channels in a very user-friendly way. At this time, many people have started chatting with each other. Oh my god, this God-given space is so magical. They are all props from the pirate world. With these, it seems like zombies are not so scary. You idiot upstairs, do you have the points to say this? You only get 1 point for killing a zombie. I don't know if you want to redeem those good things, you have to wait until the year of the monkey. Don't talk about exchanging it, it would be great if I don't die. Soon, the majestic voice from before sounded again. The stagnation in space will end soon. From now on, you can enter the God-given space at will. 10. He felt his eyes go dark, and when he woke up again, his consciousness returned to his body. Surrounded by endless zombies, as well as panicked classmates and teachers. His right paw is holding a baseball bat, and his left paw is holding 5 pieces of water and meat. God-given space does not provide storage function. 3, 2, 1, 0. When the countdown ended and time and space returned to normal, Ao Shin stuffed a piece of water and meat into his mouth, gobbling it down while continuing to charge outside the school gate. Suddenly feeling something in his heart, Ao Shin immediately moved his body. Just as he moved away, a skeleton arm stretched out from where he was originally standing. It's the domineering power of seeing and hearing. Behind him, there were few classmates following him. Because his speed was too fast, and those classmates simply couldn't keep up. Coupled with the zombies that could be seen everywhere, wave after wave of people were stopped, causing the people across him to have no choice but to stop. Someone shouted to him to slow down, but he turned a deaf ear. Now that his heart is full of his own family, how can he be in the mood to save these people? At the school gate, he saw 5 zombies blocking a BMW. After breaking the glass, they dragged the owner out of the car. It was a beautiful woman wearing heavy makeup. The protruding figure attracts people's imagination, but zombies have no sympathy for her. As the beauty screamed loudly, He tore open her belly alive and began to devour her intestines and internal organs. As the zombies devoured the beautiful women's bodies, the rotting flesh on their bodies was slowly recovering. Zombies don't just know about infection, they also eat some human flesh and evolve through it. But as long as it is not eaten too thoroughly and the basic shape of the body is still there, especially the head, it will not take long for the corpse to be taken over by the zombie virus and turn into a new zombie. After eating a few mouthfuls of the beautiful woman's intestines, they sensed the sound of footsteps behind them. Scarlet Eyes looked at Ao Shin. Look at you being paralyzed. Ao Shin swung his stick and smashed the zombie's head into pieces. His physical strength has been fully restored through water, and flesh. The baseball bat wrapped with electricity killed these zombies in 3 strokes. Then, he changed back to his human form, got directly into the car, and rushed out of the city at full speed. On the road, there were a lot of fleeing vehicles. They thought zombies had broken out in the city, so they wanted to escape to a sparsely populated place to survive. However, there is not an inch of pure land in this world. If you want to survive, you must fight. Fight zombies, earn points, redeem items from the God-given space, and become stronger. This is the only way to survive. In the car, the radio was still playing, a national emergency notice. Everyone, don't panic, stay at home, close the doors and windows, our troops have been dispatched, and our biological laboratory is also developing antidote, please maintain order. Don't be chaotic. The first wave of zombie viruses spreads in the air. People with weak constitutions will be infected. Therefore, hospitals and nursing homes are infection-prone areas. When the apocalypse comes, the main way the zombie virus spreads is through blood bites. In this case, the army soldiers with the best physique have a very low chance of being infected. Therefore, when the end comes, the army can still play a certain role. However, Ao Shin knew that this would not last long. If the army wants to eliminate zombies quickly, it must use thermal weapons such as firearms. But in this case, you cannot get points. Without points, you can't become stronger. As zombies continue to grow stronger and eventually become unafraid of conventional thermal weapons, the army will become weaker and the social order will collapse faster. Therefore, the only chance of survival now is for all the people to join the army. Fight zombies. This is a survival competition of survival of the fittest. The car was driving rapidly, and even if there were zombies blocking the road ahead, he would still choose to rush through them arbitrarily. Because traffic control has been paralyzed, once you avoid zombies, a series of car accidents will most likely occur, which will affect your speed home. The vast horizon is my love. Suddenly his cell phone rang. He glanced out of the corner of his eye and noted it was Xiao Chen. This is my sister, get through directly. Hello, brother, where are you? There are so many zombies outside. It's so scary. As soon as the call was connected, my sister's anxious and frightened voice came. It is normal for a 16-year-old girl who is in her prime to panic when she suddenly encounters something like this. Ao Shin said, I'm fine, how are you? Are your parents okay? Hearing his angry voice, which did not seem like something was wrong, Ao Chen just breathed a sigh of relief. Mom listened to you, asked for leave in advance and took me home. Dad is still in the hospital. We just contacted him. He said that he locked the office and it is okay for the time being. Brother, you are so awesome. If you hadn't forced Mom to take leave, we might have died outside now. Ao Chen gradually became less afraid as he chatted with his brother about the Queen. Because they returned home early, they did not encounter the wave of zombies. They only learned the news of the doomsday after the God-given space was opened. When they stood on the balcony and took a look at the scene outside, they were so frightened that their hearts were beating fast. Brother, do you have any inside information? Not only did you let my mother and I go home in advance, but you also prepared so much food and canned food. Did you already know that the end of the world was coming? Ao Chen has been puzzled this month. His brother buys a lot of daily necessities to send home every day. When they ask him, he doesn't tell and doesn't know where he comes from so much money. Of course Ao Shin has no money, and 1 month is not enough to make money. But since the end is coming, what else does he have to fear? Borrowed all illegal black online loans. If he couldn't explain it to his parents, he might even have to mortgage his house. But with the existence of God-given space, there is actually no need to store too many supplies. These are for emergency use only. She told her sister not to go out and not to open the door to anyone except her father when he came back. He would wait until he got back to talk about everything. Ao Chen also responded repeatedly. While we were chatting, a luxury car in front of us rolled over to avoid the zombies that suddenly rushed towards us, causing a series of car accidents. Many vehicles crashed into it and were destroyed, killing people. Ao Shin had expected this scene. It was too late to stop at this moment, and there were many fast-moving vehicles behind him, so he was not allowed to stop slowly. After stuffing his cell phone into his backpack, he reached out to grab his bat and baseball bat. He transformed into a blue dragon and crashed through the roof of the car and flew into the sky. Yanyan Tuo lifted his body, and the green dragon soared upward. The magical scene shocked everyone on the road. This made the already intense car accident even more complicated. Just a few seconds after he hit the roof of the car and flew out, the BMW hit the disabled car in front and made a violent noise. Not having time to pay attention to the noisy car accident scene below, Qinglong got into the clouds and flew straight in his direction. Occasionally, he took out a piece of water and meat from his backpack to replenish his strength. He couldn't fly for long now. Finally, when all the water, and flesh were exhausted, he landed from the sky and transformed back into human form. After a quick glance, he saw no zombies around him. He quickly entered the God-given space, exchanged 5 pieces of water and meat again, and stuffed them all into his backpack. In the backpack now, there are only these 5 pieces of water and meat, and 1 thunder fruit. After eating a piece of meat and water, he did not take off again. Although water and meat can replenish physical strength, if you continue to rely on it for recovery, your physical strength will be depleted faster and faster. And mental fatigue cannot be replenished. He opened the map and looked at it. Now he needed to find a road and hijack a car. After finding the right direction, he turned into a blue dragon again. This time, he only flew for 10 minutes before he saw a highway below with countless cars driving fast on it. Lowering the flight altitude, he looked for a rugged off-road vehicle. Below, many people in the traffic saw the green dragon flying in the sky. Immediately, someone took a picture of this scene with a mobile phone and uploaded it to the communication channel of the God-given space. Family, I saw a dragon. It's such a big green dragon, it must be nearly 100 meters long. There were comments immediately below this video. Blue dragon, it should be Kaido's blue dragon fruit. I wonder who is so lucky to obtain such a powerful phantom beast species. Real name envy. It would be great if I could also get a devil fruit. Hey, I once got a thunder fruit, but I thought it was a fake, so I sold it. A comment titled, Noble Mr. Mao, attracted the attention of many people. You're such an idiot. If you ate the thunder fruit, wouldn't you just take off now? That's right. Nowadays, everyone doesn't have armed domineering power. The natural type is invincible. It has powerful attack power, extreme speed, and the characteristic of being invulnerable to elementalization. It's amazing. I didn't get the devil fruit. If I had, I definitely wouldn't sell it. You idiot, you actually sold it. Looking at those mocking comments, Xiao Wangmao, who was hiding in the toilet of an internet cafe, was so angry that he was trembling. You guys, do you know that is a real devil fruit? However, he himself regretted it extremely. Now thinking about the eager look of the buyer, did he know that it was true? A real devil fruit, or a rare natural thunder fruit. He only sold 1,000. Xiao Wangmao wants to whip himself to death now. However, when he heard the knock on the toilet door, he felt extremely frightened. He had better think about how to survive first. In the Magic City, a beautiful girl stretched out her hand, and a vine appeared on the ground and wrapped a zombie. Then, a huge flower plate appeared above the vine, and the zombie was swallowed up in one mouthful. And chewed it carefully. The girl was very excited. Although she was very frightened when the zombie crisis broke out at first, the sudden power within her body made her feel at ease. Hee, I told you that the fruit must be real. Fans still don't believe it. Now, it's time for me to save the world. She was wearing a backless dress, and her fair and delicate back actually grew a pair of transparent wings with a slight pink brilliance at this moment. A beautiful wreath appeared above her head, making her look like a fairy. There are also small garlands wrapped around her delicate wrists and ankles. As she twisted slightly, vines rose up one after another on the ground, and piranha flowers sprouted to devour the zombies. The girl had a smile on her face, and her elegant appearance was in sharp contrast to the miserable scene of the end of the world. On the surrounding tall buildings, someone filmed this scene from above and uploaded it to the God-given network. It immediately attracted countless people to watch. Wow, so beautiful. This is also a devil fruit ability. It looks similar to the sensen fruit, but it's different. Could it be a different power from the devil fruit? No, I think it should be brand new, a fruit ability that has not appeared in One Piece. I just don't know what type it belongs to. Isn't that the beautiful Anchor Yuzu? The devil fruit she ate before was actually real. Oh, my goddess Yuzu. She is so beautiful even in the apocalypse. I am in love again. In a small county in the west, a 13-year-old boy looked at the gourd-like fruit in his hand, feeling excited. Devil fruit. This is actually a real devil fruit. He is a senior Hamey and recognizes this fruit. Superhuman type thread fruit. Tenyasha da flamingo's fruit. I took one bite with excitement, and the disgusting taste spread in my mouth. But the boy held back, swallowed it forcefully, and threw away the rest. All you need to eat a devil fruit is one bite. The next moment, he reached out and pointed, and another thread that was so thin that it was invisible appeared in front of him. Ah, I knew I must be the protagonist of this world. The young man was so excited that he pushed open the door and rushed out, regardless of his parents' dissuasion. He wants to kill zombies, and he wants to be king in the end of the world. Bounce the thread. Super whip. He excitedly shouted the names of the moves developed by Brother Ming, hoping that these moves could easily penetrate zombies. However, the reality is extremely cruel. The thin line he launched was weak and weak. Not to mention penetrating zombies, it can't even break through defenses. The young man continued to take action without believing in evil, but behind him, his parents rushed out desperately to drag him back. Xiaohe, it's too dangerous outside. Go back with your parents quickly. But the young man struggled and refused to return. The zombies would not take pity on him. When several zombies saw 3 humans rushing in front of them, they immediately opened their smelly mouths and pounced on him. Xiaohe, be careful. His father swung a kitchen knife and chopped it on a zombie, but the result was nothing more than a cut into the flesh. The zombie didn't wait for him to pull out the kitchen knife, threw him down, and started biting him crazily. Dad, Brother Shang. The boy he and the woman screamed in surprise. The boy named Xiaoan also tried to tie up the zombies with silk threads. But it only slightly hindered the zombies for a second. With eyes wide open in fear, he was unwilling to have his neck bitten off by the zombies. Before he died, he was still roaring in his heart. Why do I still have to die in the apocalypse even though I have gained the power of the devil fruit? No one could give him the answer, and his consciousness fell into eternal darkness. Devil fruits are not invincible. This kind of thing continues to happen all over the world. Many fruits require careful development by the eater in order to exert their powerful power. Just like the thread fruit, this is really a useless fruit. It only appears powerful because of Brother Ming. The strong one has always been Brother Ming, not Shenxiang Guo. In today's world, there are still many people who don't understand this truth. Thinking that with the devil fruit, you can dominate. As a result, he could only die tragically at the mouth of zombies. On the highway from Jizhou to Yuzhou, Ao Shin, who turned into a green dragon, finally spotted an off-road vehicle that looked extremely solid. When he was about to leave and hitchhike, he suddenly caught a glimpse of a dim light shining on a big tree beside the road out of the corner of his eye. That is, with a slight throbbing in his heart, he fell towards the big tree. As he approached, a pair of dragon eyes suddenly widened. God help me! At the top of the big tree, among the dense branches and leaves, a fruit hangs here. This is a poplar tree, very tall. This kind of tree will not bear fruit, but now, something goes against common sense. Because this is a devil fruit. This fruit is shaped like a corn, golden in color with white curly lines. Another fruit I have never seen before. But this is normal. There are far more devil fruits in the apocalypse than in the comics. In the comics, there are only dozens. However, according to the statistics of the fruits in my previous life, there are tens of thousands. Of course, most of them are zoological. There are not that few phantom beast species. After all, there are countless myths from various ethnic groups around the world, and every mythical beast among them will become a new phantom beast species. However, even if the fantasy beast species is bad, it still deserves the title of the strongest. He stretched out his dragon claw to pick off the fruit and put it into the big backpack behind him. After your points reach 1000, you can open a new permission in the God-given space. Devil fruit identification. This way you can avoid eating some undesirable fruits. Of course, the appraisal fee is very expensive, and each appraisal costs a full 1000 points. In addition, the vast majority of people are already lucky if they can obtain a devil fruit, so how can they still be picky? Just as he was about to catch up with the off-road vehicle again, a large truck in front suddenly rolled over. 3 zombies climbed out of the car and began to block and attack surrounding vehicles. But at this time, which car dares to stop? They all stepped on the accelerator and rushed past the zombies. A zombie was pushed in front of the car. His rotten legs rubbed against the ground at high speed, and soon they were broken into bones. But the zombie couldn't feel pain. He raised his fist and slammed the car window, scaring the man and woman in the car into screaming. Soon, the glass was smashed by zombies. After these things were infected, their strength increased greatly. After smashing the glass, they crawled into the car. The car owner's face turned pale. At this time, he could only drive wildly and sway left and right, trying to throw the zombies off. However, before the zombie was thrown off, his behavior triggered a series of car accidents. Ao Shin glanced over there and ignored it. Instead, he landed next to the overturned truck, transformed into a human animal form, held the overturned side, and turned it over forcefully. The power provided by the green dragon fruit is extremely terrifying. After contacting the dragon, he got into the car and drove forward. When he arrived at the scene of a series of car accidents, he transformed into a dragon again and moved all the car wreckage blocking his way. Some people who were seriously injured but not dead saw him clearing the road, opened their weak mouths, and called for help. "Sir, please help me." He tried to increase his volume, but unfortunately, his sternum was broken, his lungs were traumatized, and he was so weak that he could die at any time. But he didn't want to die. Even if he was in severe pain, he still wanted to grasp this only straw. Ao Shin didn't even look at him. After clearing the road, he got back into the large truck and left gracefully. Behind him, thanks to him, the vehicles passed through the road he cleared, and they unconsciously followed the big truck. Perhaps, by following this boss, we have a chance to survive in the apocalypse. Ao Shin saw this scene in the rearview mirror, but it didn't matter. These people could follow them if they wanted, as long as they didn't affect his actions. With the big truck here, his return trip was much easier. With such a big truck, there is no need to worry about being hit. On the road, zombies emerge from speeding cars from time to time. Some of them are weak and sick, and the zombie virus has been carrying it until now, but it still breaks out after all. I was accidentally injured by a zombie while escaping. I didn't pay attention to it because the wound was too small, but I still couldn't resist the virus infection. Car accidents occurred frequently, and he would get out of the car from time to time to deal with zombies and clean up the road. Behind him, a convoy following him tried to talk to him. "Brother, can you take me with you? I can give you money." A middle-aged greasy man with a rich look and a big belly gave him a flattering smile while smoking. He is a big businessman with assets worth billions. But now, he is no different from these ordinary people. But he only got the word, "Get out." The middle-aged man's expression changed, but he continued to smile in an instant. He had been in the business for many years, and being slapped in the face was nothing. As long as you can achieve your goal, let alone slap him in the face, just make him kneel down. "Brother, don't be so open-minded. How much do you want? 100,000, 1 million, 10 million. As long as you are willing to protect me, I can give you endless money." A pair of dragon eyes full of majesty glanced at him, releasing a faint pressure outwards. Ao Shin said coldly, "Take another step forward and die." The middle-aged man was so frightened that he knelt down involuntarily. It was as if the young man transformed into a dragon in front of him was the supreme being in this world. The faint overbearing color scared away a group of people who were about to come to talk. However, in a life and death crisis, some people still want to take a chance on themselves. A pretty lady stepped forward boldly. Even in the apocalypse, she still looks so beautiful. The elegant and gorgeous Cheongsam highlights her figure. Her slender legs are set off by a pair of high heels, and she has a very alluring face. Such a beauty can attract the attention of men no matter where she is. Brother, can you take me with you? You can do anything to me. She was a master at teasing men. In the bloody apocalypse, her numbing voice caused a fire to rise in the bellies of all the men around her. However, what Ao Shin gave her was still a cold, "Go away." The woman's face turned pale, and her all-out temptation failed at this moment. She saw the lustful eyes of those people around her. If she could not rely on a strong person, once this dragon man left, she would probably become someone else's meal in an instant. Brother, she wanted to argue for herself one more time, but Ao Shin had already cleared the road and was about to leave. Just as he was about to get into the car after disabling his powers, another strong man walked behind him. This gentleman, I am willing to serve you. Seeing that Ao Shin had no intention of stopping, he quickly promoted himself as quickly as possible. Sir, I have also read a lot of apocalyptic articles. Although you are powerful, don't you want to build a base manually? I, Meng Kui, have no other abilities, but I still have a lot of strength. As he spoke, he also showed off his strong muscles. Sir, I am a fighting coach, I can definitely help you. Ao Shin stopped and looked back at him. Sure enough, his body was extremely muscular. After touching his chin and thinking for a while, this person was right. The civilized order is about to be completely destroyed. To survive in the end of the world, he needs to build his own safe base to fight against zombies. These zombies grow extremely fast, and it is difficult to protect your family all the time by yourself. When Meng Kui saw Ao Shin stop and turn to look at him, he immediately showed off his muscles 360 degrees. Okay, get in the car. Seeing that he agreed with Meng Kui, he was overjoyed. He didn't want any of his parcels, luggage, or car. As long as he could follow this big boss, what kind of daily necessities were needed? Ao Shin did not dare to get into the passenger seat for fear that he would be abandoned if he was too late. Instead, he used his physical strength to climb into the car behind. Meng Kui's success gave others hope. This boss is not completely unkind. The greasy middle-aged man spoke again. As soon as he opened his mouth, he was interrupted. Get out. Even if Ao Shin wanted to recruit people, he wouldn't be able to recruit too many people directly here. In the early stage, one Meng Kui is enough. Moreover, this person's loyalty is still an issue and needs to be tested slowly. Sir, seeing that he was about to leave, the beautiful woman in Cheongsam hurriedly said again. I can do things for you too. Although I don't have the strength, I can do the cleaning work for you. I'm also good at housework and cooking. She knew that since this young man did not bring her with him because of his beauty, she needed to show her other values. She even said, Sir, beautiful women are also a resource in the apocalypse. I think, with my appearance, you can get a lot of benefits by selling me. Besides, I'm still a virgin. She knew very well that men cared about this. Even though she played with men in her hands, she never let him really touch her. Because this is one of her greatest assets. Ao Shin was shocked. Do you still promote yourself like this? This woman is really a cruel person. But it is precisely this kind of people who can often accomplish great things. He looked at the woman deeply. Get in the car. The woman was overjoyed. Without Ao Shin's consent, she did not dare to get into the passenger seat, but climbed into the back compartment regardless of her appearance. Ao Shin watched this scene and nodded secretly. This woman may not be just a vase. Others in the rear also wanted to be like these two people, but Ao Shin's overlord color was shocked again, and everyone fell to the ground in shock. A senior Hamey recognized this kingly aura. It's the overlord color. The boss has awakened the overlord color. Oh my god, how is it possible? Didn't the end of the world just begin? The boss is too strong. After all, the level of his overlord color is not high, and since overlord color can be cultivated independently in the end of the world, he must practice step by step from low level to high level. You can't knock other people out directly yet. Get back to the car, start the car and keep going. At the same time, he also paid attention to his surroundings. This large truck was running low on oil and needed a gas station to replenish it. Judging from the current situation on the first day of the apocalypse, there should still be a lot of gas at the gas station. After traveling for another 2 hours, he finally found the roadside service area. However, this place has been occupied by zombies. Pedestrians passing by wanted to enter here to replenish fuel and food. But seeing the large number of zombies entrenched here, I had to give up this idea. But Ao Shin doesn't have this worry. As soon as the big truck parked here, a group of zombies surrounded it. They couldn't get into the cab, so they tried to climb into the car and attack Meng Kui and the beauty. The two of them huddled in the carriage in fear, not daring to show their heads, praying that Ao Shin could quickly kill these zombies. Ao Shin opened the door, entered the human-animal form, and casually smashed several zombies climbing to death with a baseball bat in his hand. At this moment, the convoy that had been following him also came to this service area. They originally wanted to wait for Ao Shin to clean up the zombies and replenish some supplies, but their appearance made the zombies rush towards them. In desperation, these convoys had no choice but to leave. "Come down." Ao Shin asked the two people in the carriage to get out, took out a crowbar from the cab and handed it to Meng Kui. "Go and kill this zombie." Meng Kui took the crowbar. "This thing is hard and feels good. It is a good tool for killing zombies in the apocalypse." After killing all the zombies one by one, only one zombie was left for Meng Kui to fight. He started to refuel the truck. At the same time, remove the fire axe and fire shovel from the gas station and throw them into the cab. These are also good weapons. Meng Kui is indeed a fighting coach. His strength, speed, and fighting reflexes are all very good. Moreover, he had killed 2 zombies before escaping from the city, so he was quite experienced in dealing with such things. If he weren't afraid of the zombie virus, he could launch a more violent attack. When Ao Shin finished refueling, he also successfully killed the zombie. "Not bad." Ao Shin nodded in approval, and then said to them, "Go inside and find some oil barrels. We need to load more oil back." The two immediately went to look for it. But soon, they ran back in embarrassment, because there were several zombies behind the service area, chasing them crazily. After dealing with these zombies, Ao Shin put fuel into oil drums and put them into the car behind. Only then did he ask the Cheongsam beauty, "What's your name?" Although this woman looks useless with thin arms and legs, she has been doing well since she got in her car. Zombies climbed into the car, but she didn't yell. This made her rating in Ao Shin's heart even higher. "My name is Lu Xiao." The woman answered quickly when Ao Shin finally asked her name. "Sit in the passenger seat. There's no need to climb into the car." Ao Shin's words surprised Lu Xiao. Does this mean that this young man recognizes himself? "Yes, master." Her title shocked Ao Shin again. She didn't even ask her name, but directly addressed her as master. Only those who can put down their appearance and figure can survive better in the apocalypse. After Meng Kui climbed back into the car again, he also returned to the cab. "Start the big truck and drive home." On the way, he received another call from his sister Ao Chen. "Brother, where are you? Dad is trapped in the hospital office. I heard that there are the most zombies in the hospital. Dad also has no food and water. I am so afraid that something will happen to him." Ao Chen's voice had a crying tone, and next it was his mother's voice. "Xiao Shin, how is your school? You protect yourself, your parents will find a way to save you." Ao Shin said quickly, "Mom, don't worry, I gained the power of the devil fruit, and it's amazing now. Just wait for me a little longer, and I'll be home soon. When I get back, I can rescue Dad." Hearing him say that he had devil fruit abilities, Ao Chen immediately turned from sad to excited. "Really, brother, what kind of fruit did you get? Animal type, superhuman type, or natural type? It would be great if you were natural type." Influenced by Ao Shin, Ao Chen also likes to watch One Piece and is very familiar with various devil fruits. Ao Shin smiled and said, "It's Teacher Kai's green dragon fruit, a fantasy beast species. It's more powerful than the natural system." Wow, Ao Chen immediately thought of the video uploaded by someone in the God-given space communication channel. "Brother, is that you the Qinglong in the video? So handsome. Are you now as capable of destroying the world as Teacher Kai?" Ao Shin laughed. Whether it is fruit ability or domineering power, it consumes physical strength. Where do I have this kind of strength now? Chapter 11. Speaking of devil fruit, Ao Chen immediately lost his fear, and the brother and sister chatted on the phone for a full hour. After hanging up the phone, Ao Shin called his father again, telling him that he was now a capable person and would be able to go back to rescue him soon, and asked him to hide and not risk rushing out. Sitting in the office, the anxious and helpless Ao Kong finally felt relieved. After telling him to be careful, he quietly waited for his son's rescue. It was already late at night when Ao Shin drove a large truck into Biancheng. The streets at the moment were full of zombies wandering aimlessly. People outside have either found safety or left the city, or have become a member of the zombie army. In the silent night, the rumble of large trucks was so harsh. People who were still in panic and couldn't sleep for a long time opened their windows to check what was going on outside. Ao Shin did not go home, but went directly to the central hospital. Here, hundreds of zombies gather. Ao Shin took out a piece of watery meat from his backpack and stuffed it into his mouth, chewing it hard to regain a lot of energy. He took Meng Kui and Lu Xiao out of the car, entered the human animal form, wrapped the baseball bat with electricity, and killed wantonly among the zombies. Under the powerful force, every time the stick was struck, a zombie's head was exploded. When I walked into the hospital, I couldn't see a single living person here. In the outpatient hall, he opened a door at random, killed the zombie inside, and said to Meng Kui, "You two wait for me here first. I'll take my dad out and then we can leave." "Yes, master." "Okay, boss." Although Meng Kui was loyal, he really couldn't say it out loud when asked to call him master. After much thought, he decided to call Ao Shin boss. Ao Shin didn't care much about these names, but felt that the owner Lu Xiao's name was a bit awkward. After a while, her parents and sisters will definitely think wrong when they hear her calling her that. The inner one, Ao Shin, who was about to leave the room, decided to say to Lu Xiao, "Stop calling me master, it's weird. My parents should have thought wildly after hearing this." He scratched his head, and then the two of them felt that this young man who was extremely decisive and powerful in killing was also a normal student. Lu Xiao said, "Master, the large number of zombies and the God-given space have shown that this crisis is unusual. With your strength, you will definitely become the king in the apocalypse in the future. There must be many people who call you like us. You parents should get used to this as soon as possible." Listening to her words, Ao Shin couldn't help but look sideways. This woman's intuition is so keen. You know, there are still many people who have illusions that the country can resolve this crisis. However, this woman already understands that this is the real apocalypse. All civilized orders will collapse, and a new world order will be established by the strong. This woman herself has great value, and she is gradually showing her own value. Good. Ao Shin nodded and stopped arguing with her about the matter. After going out, Meng and Kui immediately blocked the door with a large number of tables and chairs, waiting for Ao Shin to return. Ao Shin killed the zombies once and for all and picked up her cell phone to talk to her father. "Hey, Dad, I've arrived at your hospital. In which office are you?" Ao Kong was hungry and thirsty, and was mentally tortured by the zombies knocking on the door outside. Late at night, he was half asleep and half awake when he was suddenly awakened by his cell phone. When I saw it was my son's phone call, I immediately became energetic. "Be careful, there are many zombies in the hospital." He did not tell his location, but first asked Ao Shin to pay attention to his safety. It was not until Ao Shin made a video call to him, and Ao Kong felt relieved when he saw Ao Shin's heroic appearance of dragon-like killing everyone. Pointing him in the direction, Ao Shin soon arrived at the door of an office in a corner. 12 zombies gathered here, constantly hitting the door of the house, and there were many holes in the door. If Ao Kong hadn't blocked the door with a large number of tables and chairs, they would have rushed in and tore him apart. The iron rod was swung up, hitting all the zombies in the head, and Ao Shin violently kicked open the door. Although the father in the house is not in good condition, he is in good health, which is the greatest good news. He took out a piece of water and meat from the backpack behind him to replenish his father's strength. Ao Kong ate meat while looking at the mighty dragon man in front of him. "Is this the devil fruit power you and Xiaochen were talking about?" Ao Kong, who was trapped in the office, also took this time to read a lot of videos and comments in the communication channel of God-given space. "I roughly know some things related to One Piece. Hee hee." Ao Shin giggled, and knocked to death another zombie that broke in with a stick, showing off to his father. How about it, your son is handsome. Yeah, the brat is so handsome. Ao Kong responded to him with a smile. The end of the world has come. In the short period of time he escaped, he witnessed countless people being killed by zombies. Now that his family is safe, this is the biggest good news in the end of the world. Taking his father away from the hospital, on the way, he could still see people looking out from the broken doorways of some houses. When they saw Ao Kong leaving with a dragon man, and the dragon men became more aggressive, someone suddenly shouted, "Lao Ao, help me." They are colleagues in Ao Kong Hospital and some family members who came to the hospital to visit patients. They were also trapped here when the end came. As for the patients, their weak constitutions make it almost impossible to resist the zombie virus infection, and most of them have turned into zombies immediately. Ao Kong saw his colleagues calling for help and hesitantly said to Ao Shin, "Xiao Shin, please save them too. They are all pitiful colleagues." But Ao Shin shook his head. So what if they are rescued? The city is full of zombies. Do I have to send them home one by one? Even if they go home, can they survive? Ignoring the shouts of the group, he pulled his father and left quickly. When passing by Meng Kui and Lu Xiao's room, after cleaning up the zombies that hit the door, he smashed the door with a stick and took the two out. Grown-ups. Owner. Seeing Ao Shin return, the two immediately spoke respectfully. Ao Kong was shocked. He looked at Ao Shin in disbelief. Are they? A muscular man and a beautiful woman. Why would such a person respect his son so much? Moreover, he heard clearly that the beautiful woman called his son, Master. Oh, cake seller. He is not an old antique with old ideas. How can his son play so well behind his back? Although Ao Shin's face was a bit hot at this time, he still pretended to be calm and replied, "Two little brothers I picked up on the road." But Ao Kang's eyes clearly showed disbelief, an expression that said you must not be telling the truth. Ao Shin was speechless and didn't intend to continue explaining. He took them back to the truck, let his father sit in the passenger seat, and then drove Lu Xiao back to the trunk. After clearing away the zombies surrounding the truck again, he drove home. At home, Ao Chen looked at Lu Xiao in shock. What a beautiful woman. Moreover, what did this woman call her brother just now? Owner. Ouch. What have you done outside? How dare he take this woman home? And that muscular man, even if he said he was a special forces soldier, he would believe it. He actually called his brother, boss. At this moment, like a competent maid, Lu Xiao folded her hands on her lower abdomen and stood quietly behind Ao Shin. Meng Kui was obviously at a loss. Although he is outgoing, this is the family of the boss he is loyal to, and he doesn't know how to get along with them. In the end, it was Ao Shin's mother Zhang Hong who took the initiative and said, "You are all hungry, come and eat." After she learned that her son was coming back soon, she stayed up all night and cooked all night just to give her son and her husband a bite of hot food. But I didn't expect that my son would bring 2 more people back, so the food would not be enough. But fortunately, Ao Shin prepared a lot of cans in advance and opened some to make a big table. Seeing Meng Kui's restraint, Ao Shin said, "Come over and eat together." Just as Meng Kui was about to step forward, Lu Xiao said, "No, just give me some canned food. I can't eat at the same table as the master." Ao Chen, Zhang Hong, Ao Kong. Ao Chen's suspicious eyes swept back and forth between the two people's faces, and he suddenly shouted, "I know. This is called tuning. Ouch." Before she could finish her words, Ao Shin was hit on the forehead with a bang. The pain made tears well up in her eyes. She grabbed Ao Shin's arm and bit her. After joking around for a while, Ao Shin said to Lu Xiao, "Let's eat together, it's not so particular." With his authorization, the Cheongsam beauty sat elegantly at the dining table. Ao Chen sat on the other side of her and asked in a low voice, "Sister Lu Xiao, what is your relationship with my brother?" Lu Xiao said calmly, "The relationship between master and servant." Ao Chen. After dinner, Lu Xiao and Ao Chen lived in a room, while Meng Kui was arranged in the guest room. The next day, when they woke up, it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. After breakfast, Ao Shin took out 2 devil fruits from his backpack and said to his parents and sister, "I still have 2 devil fruits here. One is the thunder fruit, and I don't know what the other one is. You can eat it." Having watched the Ao Shin green dragon in its fierce form, and also seen many scenes of invincible ability users in the videos, they now know the value of these two fruits. Meng Kui and Lu Xiao were both shocked. They didn't expect Ao Shin to have two more. There is deep desire in his eyes. Who wouldn't envy those with devil fruit abilities? But they also know they don't deserve it now. However, Ao Shin is so powerful that they may not be unable to find more devil fruits in the future. By then, as long as they perform well, they will most likely be given one. At this moment, the two of them strengthened their decision to be loyal. Ao Chen was very curious and picked up two fruits to play with and showed these magical fruits to his parents. After reading it, Ao Kong gave it back to Ao Shin. Give one to Xiaochen. We are old, and even eating it is a waste. Zhang Hong also said, yes, Xiaochen, we are very satisfied with you protecting us. If you keep such a precious thing, it will definitely have a greater effect, so we won't eat it. Ao Shin said, I already have the blue dragon fruit. I will definitely improve my strength very quickly in the future. If you eat the fruit, you can quickly kill zombies and then exchange it for domineering practice. These are the capital for survival in the apocalypse. However, after talking for a long time, Ao Kong and his wife still refused. No, if you have more in the future, you can give it to us. It is too wasteful for us to eat this now. Ao Shin was helpless and said to Ao Chen, you choose one. Ao Chen had been watching eagerly for a long time, and when he saw that it was finally his turn, he immediately became excited. She held up two fruits and looked left and right. The thunder fruit has a great reputation, so eating this one is naturally the safest thing to do. I don't even know the name of the other one. If it was just an ordinary species, it would be a huge loss. But after thinking for a long time, she still returned the thunder fruit to Ao Shin. I'll eat this. Ao Shin asked curiously, you don't want thunder? The ability of natural elementalization is invincible in the early stage. And, who knows what that ability will be? Ao Chen shook his head. A jar of magic potion in the God-given space can eliminate the side effects of the devil fruit and allow people to eat another fruit. Brother, you are so strong now, you will definitely get the magic potion. This thunder fruit is very suitable for you. I'll just take this one. Ao Shin thought for a while and said, that's okay. I'll check it first. If it's good, you can eat it. Authentication. Ao Chen was confused. Fruit identification is a permission that can only be opened after the points reach 1000. Ao Chen's points are now 0, of course he doesn't know. He came home from school and went on a killing spree at the entrance of the central hospital. He had killed more than 1,000 zombies, just enough to start an identification. But after Ao Chen heard that 1,000 points were required for appraisal, he immediately objected, no, no, no. 1,000 points, it's too expensive. 1,000 points can be exchanged for one of the 6 naval styles, or a sharp knife. It would be a waste to appraise just one fruit. After saying that, she didn't wait for Ao Shin to retort. She directly grabbed the golden corn-like fruit and stuffed it into her mouth. After biting off a piece of fruit pulp, he didn't taste it, but swallowed it with a slurp. Devil fruits are unpalatable, she knows that. Xiaochen. Ao Shin was shocked. She didn't expect Ao Chen to eat it directly. If the fruit was weak, there would be no place to regret it. But Ao Chen had already swallowed a piece of fruit pulp and it was done. He could only pray that the fruit was strong enough. The whole family, including Meng Kui and Lu Xiao, all stared closely at Ao Chen, who swallowed the fruit, always paying attention to her changes. Ao Chen himself was very nervous to feel the magical energy in his body. Soon, this energy covered her whole body, and her body began to undergo changes. The cheeks become longer, the ears become larger and stand up, and white hair appears on the surface of the body. The white is embellished with dark golden stripes. Then, the whole body quickly shrank and turned into a palm-sized little mouse with white fur and golden stripes. Its animal type. Everyone immediately understood the type of this fruit, but this little mouse looked extraordinary and was most likely not an ordinary species. The little mouse made a human voice, brother. You are so big. Ao Shin and others squatted down and asked her curiously, what category is it? Ordinary species, ancient species, or fantasy beast species? Ao Chen chuckled and said, it's a species of phantom beast. Ao Shin was overjoyed when she heard the word, phantom beast species. It seems that her sister did not lose money in gambling. All species of fantasy beasts have special abilities. What is your ability? Ao Chen said. Look. As she spoke, she dived down and escaped directly into the earth. This is not the earth, but the mezzanine between buildings. Moreover, there is no bulge or damage on the ground, as if the little mouse is directly integrated with the ground. Soon, the little mouse emerged from behind Ao Shin and transformed into a human animal form. Her human animal form is extremely cute. On the basis of her main body, she has big white ears with gold patterns, the claws on her hands become sharp, and a slender white tail appears behind her butt. Completely different from the obscenity of the mole fruit. Knowing that everyone was curious about her abilities, Ao Chen did not show off and introduced himself. Ahem. This lady solemnly introduces my devil fruit ability to everyone. Holding up his proud little chest, Ao Chen said happily. The name of this lady's fruit is animal type, rat fruit, fantasy beast type, multi-treasure rat form. There are 3 abilities. The first is to pass through all earth and stone obstacles, such as breaking through the ground and passing through walls. To me, it is like passing through a layer of water curtain. Everyone has seen this before, but hearing her talk about it, she still found it strange. Second, I have an independent treasure storage space where I can store inanimate items. With that said, Ao Chen picked up a mop from the corner and stuffed it into his chest. Everyone's eyes widened as they watched the long and thick thing enter her chest and disappear completely. What the hell? Ao Shin was shocked. 4th-dimensional cleavage. The key is that this girl is not big either. Mother Zhang Hong even put her head into her daughter's arms and reached in to touch her. It's gone. Then, Ao Chen reached into his chest and took out the long and thick mop. How big is your space? Ao Shin focuses on this key question. As far as she knew, there was no storage equipment during the first God's gift period. As for whether there will be one in the future, he doesn't know. But with Ao Chen's ability, if the space is large enough, he can carry a lot of things without fear of losing them. Ao Chen felt it and said, it is only 10 cubic meters now, but as the fruit develops, this space will gradually become larger. Then, she continued to introduce her abilities. It's not over yet. I have another ability. Ao Shin was even more surprised. The ability to escape through walls and carry space with her is already a magical skill, but she actually has other abilities. Ao Chen said proudly, the third ability is treasure hunting. Treasure hunt. Everyone was puzzled. Ao Chen explained, I can sense the breath of the treasure and lock its location based on the breath. Now, my sensing range can cover half of Bian City. Ao Shin almost cursed. Escape to the ground, space, plus treasure hunting. He felt that his Qinglong was no longer so fragrant. But think about it, Qinglong also has many abilities. The first is the ability to control the 3 natural elements of wind, fire and thunder at the same time. Secondly, holding Yanyan has the ability to fly. Finally, bonuses to strength, defense, speed, and recovery that are far stronger than other animal types. Comparing the two, Qinglong is better at fighting, while Duobao Mouse focuses on auxiliary abilities other than fighting. But there are drawbacks. Ao Chen's voice was a little frustrated. The emergence of 3 superpowers means that there are gains and losses. Unlike other animal types, after I enter the beast form, my strength and defense are almost 0, and I have no combat power at all. After entering the human beast form, I also get almost no bonus to strength and defense, exactly the same as when I was an ordinary person, but my speed is very fast. I estimate that my bonus to speed is at least twice that of other animal-type fantasy beasts. At the end, Ao Chen was still very proud. This is indeed not a devil fruit that is good at fighting, but its role is even greater than that of Qinglong. Treasure hunting. What is considered a treasure in this period? There is almost no need to think about it, there is only one answer, the devil fruit. Of course, it is not entirely true. Ao Shin knows that there will be secret realms opened in the future, and Ao Chen's ability can also allow them to gain more benefits in the secret realm. By the way, put this thunder fruit in your treasure space, only here is safe. After reading Ao Chen's fruit ability, Ao Shin handed the thunder fruit to Ao Chen, and transferred his points to each of them 30, allowing them to exchange for the 3-color domineering practice method. Even without the fruit, as long as the domineering power is practiced to the extreme, one can still become a strong person. Even if there is a fruit, if the domineering power is not good, it will be gradually eliminated by the end of the world. He exchanged an ordinary military knife for each of them from the God-given space, and then he led everyone out of the house. Downstairs, there were still countless zombies wandering around. Ao Shin turned into a dragon man, broke the spine of a zombie with a stick, and crippled his arms. He said to his father, "Dad, you use this knife to cut off his head." Ao Kong hesitated a little. Although the other party was a zombie, he was a human in his life. Letting him cut off his head was like killing someone. He was a little reluctant. But how could he not do it in the end of the world? Seeing that his father did not dare to do it, Ao Chen took the initiative to ask, "Brother, let me do it, I will show Dad." After that, he pulled out the long knife in his hand and cut off the neck of the zombie with one knife. The sticky corpse blood flowed out, and the fishy smell came to his nose. Ao Kong frowned, but as a doctor, he was not afraid. Ao Shin used the same method to kill a zombie again. This time, Lu Xiao took the initiative to chop off its head. After the demonstration of the two girls, Ao Kong was finally able to do it himself, and then his mother Zhang Hong also chopped off the head of a zombie. As for Meng Kui, he was able to kill a zombie alone. As a fighting coach, his fighting ability was much stronger than his family. Now they have the domineering practice method. And the practice of armed color depends on the extreme body training and unlimited fighting. Tempering the body in battle is the foundation of becoming stronger. Dad, you guys train near home first, I'll go to hunt zombies far away. Fighting zombies, in addition to training the body, is to get points. This is the currency in the end times. Not only can it be exchanged for items from the God-given space, but it can also be used to trade with other people. The original money system has collapsed. Brother, I'll go with you. Seeing that he was about to leave, Ao Chen quickly hugged his arm and begged. Ao Shin frowned. No, I will clean up a group of zombies near my home. You can go home and rest when you are tired. It is too dangerous to go far with me, and your fruit combat ability is not strong. Ao Chen said, I feel there is a treasure in the southwest, I can take you to find it. Treasure. Ao Chen's words surprised Ao Shin. What other treasures are there now besides devil fruits? Okay, follow me closely and don't run around by yourself. Yeah, Ao Chen nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. He ordered Meng Kui, protect my parents. Meng Kui nodded solemnly, no problem. I promise not to let the boss's family get hurt. Ao Shin led Ao Chen to the southeast. Both of them were in human beast form, and the speed of Duobao Rat surprised Ao Shin. With its speed and magical ability to burrow underground, the zombies could not touch the corner of Ao Chen's clothes at all. Although Ao Chen's own attack power was not very good, he could also grind the zombies to death by fighting. Puff. When Ao Shin killed another zombie with a stick, Ao Chen also successfully beheaded a zombie. But she was exhausted from using her abilities frequently. But she still happily boasted to Ao Shin, brother, I killed another zombie. Seeing the girl's expression of wanting to praise me, Ao Shin smiled and said, my Xiaochen is so strong. Yeah, hearing Ao Shin's praise, the girl's beautiful eyes curved into a pair of crescents, and a pair of dimples appeared on her cheeks. But how could she be so complacent in a battle? A zombie pounced from behind and bit Ao Chen's neck. Ao Chen was startled and tried to escape underground, but she couldn't because of the huge consumption of physical strength. The zombies were getting closer and closer. At the critical moment, Ao Shin smashed the zombie's head with a stick. Brother, I can't fight anymore. Ao Chen panted heavily. She didn't train hard for a month like Ao Shin. She didn't have the talent of a domineering genius. With the help of Ao Shin's points, she only obtained the qualification to practice domineering, but she hasn't awakened domineering. Duobao Rat didn't add much to physical strength. She was able to fight until now because she exercised more on weekdays. Ao Shin said, point a direction, I'll take you there. Ao Chen put the long knife into the treasure space, turned into a beast, and moved it to Ao Shin's shoulder. The palm-sized little mouse rubbed Ao Shin's cheek that was not full of dragon scales, and the familiar voice of his sister sounded in his ears. There, Ao Shin turned into a dragon directly, roared, and the sound shook the 4 fields. Countless people hiding in residential buildings were startled. They all stuck their heads out and saw a green dragon soaring up on the flame cloud and rushing into the clouds. Green dragon. It's the Big Qinglong in the video. Big Qinglong actually came to our Biancheng. Can he clean up the zombies in Biancheng? Maybe Big Qinglong is from our Biancheng. Someone else filmed the flying green dragon and uploaded it to the communication channel of the God-given space. They didn't dare to fight the zombies, so they could only hide in the house and communicate with people from all over the world through the God-given space. Soon, a video titled, Big Qinglong is suspected to be from Biancheng, was topped on the hot search. The comments under the video also quickly exceeded 100,000. Brother Qinglong is one of the strongest at present. Can he completely kill the zombies and restore order to the world? There are already more than 100 people who have eaten devil fruits all over the world. However, there are not many who can beat zombies with the fighting power of Brother Qinglong. I think Brother Qinglong is the strongest. No one else. It seems that Brother Qinglong is leaving Biancheng. He may just pass through Biancheng, otherwise he must hunt zombies in Biancheng to get points. Above Biancheng, Ao Xin quickly came to the place where she said there was a treasure according to the direction pointed by Ao Chen. Brother, there, in that forest. Ao Chen, who turned into a treasure mouse, sniffed hard with her little nose. The closer she was to the treasure, the stronger her feeling was. Ao Xin landed from the air and turned into a human beast form again after landing on the ground. Ao Chen on his shoulder also jumped down and turned into a human beast form. The two quickly ran into the woods. There are not many people here, and there are few zombies. There are only 3 or 2 zombies scattered here and there, and he easily smashed their skulls. Ah, stop it. Suddenly, Ao Chen screamed. Under a big pine tree, a wretched-looking man was holding a red heart-shaped fruit in his hand. At this moment, he was extremely excited. He ran out of the city and wanted to hide in the deserted suburbs, but who knew that he found this devil fruit in this forest? He is not a fan of Hamey and does not know what kind of fruit this is. But from the forum of the God-given space, he knows that no matter what it is a treasure. Ha, this overwhelming wealth will be my turn, Wang Defa. He opened his mouth full of yellow teeth and was about to bite it off. Ao Xin and Ao Chen both changed their faces. It was too late. A hot breath spurted out and instantly submerged the man. He was burned to ashes by the hot breath without even screaming. Ao Xin and Ao Chen ran over and saw that the devil fruit in the ashes was safe and sound, so they hurried to pick it up. Having experienced the apocalypse, Ao Xin no longer had any so-called mercy. He was not a good person. Killing people for treasures was normal in the apocalypse. Ao Chen felt a little guilty. Killing a living human for a fruit was inconsistent with the education she had received. Ao Xin said, in the apocalypse, only the law of the jungle is followed. Being strong is the truth, and being weak is the original sin. If I don't have such strength, I will get the devil fruit and be discovered by the strong, and I will end up like this person. Ao Chen nodded gently. Although it was only the second day of the apocalypse, she also saw the ugliness of human nature from the forum of the God-given space. Killing people for treasures at least has a reason. In the apocalypse, more people are releasing the evil in human nature without reason. I understand, brother. Although I understand this truth, I still feel a little uncomfortable in my heart. I hugged Ao Xin's arm tightly and looked at the fruit with him. A red heart-shaped fruit with black curly lines on it. As veteran fans of the pirates, the two recognized this fruit. This is the most expensive fruit in the pirate world. Like the Nika fruit, it is worth 5 billion Baileys. This is the Operation Fruit. Ao Xin looked at the charcoal on the ground again. The Operation Fruit has a strong ability. In the previous life, the person who obtained the Operation Fruit was a famous strong man. But this wretched man is not similar to the strong man in his impression. It seems that this wretched man died not long after eating the fruit, and then the Operation Fruit was refreshed in other parts of the world and eaten by a real strong man. The devil fruit in the end of the world, like in the comics, will be randomly refreshed as long as the ability user dies. Therefore, there are also strong physical masters in the later period who hunt weak ability users and try to get the refreshed fruit themselves. But the success rate is extremely low, because no one can predict the refresh location. Brother, you can give the Operation Fruit to Dad, he will definitely like this fruit. Ao Xin immediately thought of the best destination for the Operation Fruit. Father Ao Kong is a surgeon, he will definitely be interested in it. Well, just as I thought, put it in your treasure space. With Ao Chen accompanying her, Ao Shin did not carry her own big backpack. This little girl is the best backpack. Safe and effective, very easy to use. Ao Chen smiled and stuffed the surgery fruit into her chest. This was discovered by her own ability, and it was her contribution to this family. She was very happy. Returning to the city, he turned into a green dragon again, let Ao Chen sit on his back, and quickly returned home. My parents are not strong enough and have gone home to rest. Lu Xiao was serving the two of them diligently. It made them feel quite uncomfortable. Meng Kui's is still fighting alone downstairs. He knows that just taking refuge in Ao Shin is not enough. If you want to be reused in the future, you must have enough strength. Downstairs, there are many people trying to kill zombies at the moment. After all, the redemption products of the God-given space are so attractive. However, even the cheapest 3-color domineering cultivation method requires 10 points each, which means killing 10 zombies. They took out all the weapons they could use at home, including kitchen knives, shovels, and wooden sticks, and tried to fight the zombies. However, the strength, speed, and defense of zombies far exceed them. From time to time, people are disemboweled by zombies, or are bitten and infected and become new zombies. Meng Kui saw Ao Shin coming back and immediately reported to him what happened after he left. Thank you for your hard work. If you are tired, go back and rest. Ao Shin is very satisfied with Meng Kui's performance. This hard-working spirit is the guarantee for survival in the last days. No, I will continue to fight. After Ao Shin donated points to purchase the 3-color domineering practice method, although he still did not awaken his domineering power, Meng Kui could clearly feel that his physical fitness improved slightly with every battle. He is a fighting coach, and his physical condition is almost developed to the extreme. He has not had this pleasure of improving his strength for a long time. Therefore, he cherishes the opportunity given to him by Ao Shin. Without Ao Shin, although he was confident that he could kill 10 zombies, it would probably take at least 5 days. Okay, do what you can, don't push yourself too hard. Ao Shin took Ao Chen upstairs. As soon as he entered the door, he saw Lu Xiao squeezing her mother Zhang Hong's legs. Although the second elder's physique is good, after all, he is old. After such a fierce battle, his body is extremely sore. Although Lu Xiao's technique was irregular, it was still much more comfortable when someone pressed it. Owner. Seeing Ao Shin enter the door, Lu Xiao immediately called the master obediently. This girl is indeed sensible. Ao Shin feels that she has a good vision. Both Meng Kui and Lu Xiao are valuable to cultivate. After entering the house, Ao Chen immediately let go of his arm and jumped to his father's side. Dad. We brought you a good thing. With that said, she took out the surgical fruit from her chest as if to show off and placed it in front of Ao Kong. This is a superhuman surgical fruit. Dad, you are a doctor, you will definitely like its abilities. Lu Xiao's heart trembled when she saw the results of the operation appeared. But she immediately calmed down and continued to squeeze Zhang Hong's legs hard. However, my heart was shocked, and I was even more grateful for my choice. Another devil fruit, still a precious surgical fruit. As long as I behave well, he will give me one in the future, right? Ao Kong was not very excited. After all, he had never watched One Piece. He took the surgical fruit from his daughter's hands and looked at it curiously. Surgery fruit. Can I have surgery after eating it? He naturally inferred from the name of the fruit, but I know how to perform surgery. Can it make my surgery more precise? Ao Kong was puzzled, and Ao Chen immediately explained to him. Dad, the fruit of the surgery can create a space shield. Inside, you can cut off anything. And you can teleport here. When you perform surgery, it will cause harm to the patient's body, but in the room space, cutting the object will not cause any harm to the object. After removing the harmful substances, it can be put back together directly without any scars. It doesn't hurt, isn't it great? Ao Chen's explanation was a bit messy, and seeing that her father still didn't understand it, she found a video of the results of the operation and showed her father one by one Luo's abilities. Ao Kong was even more surprised that the devil fruit was indeed magical. How about it, Dad? It suits you very well. This is what I discovered. The little girl was asking for credit, and Ao Kong also stroked her hair lovingly. Chen Chen is so amazing. It's just that Dad is getting older, so you brothers and sisters should keep this fruit. Ao Shin said. Dad, I still have a thunder fruit. Just eat this one. This is what Chen Chen and I give you together. Besides, now that you and Mom are strong, I can do my own thing with peace of mind. Otherwise, I would still have to worry about my family. Ao Shin said this deliberately, and Ao Kong was convinced after hearing it. As parents, they do not want to be a drag to their children. Indeed, as the son said, the world is too dangerous now. If he is too weak, his son can only be kept by his side to take care of the two of them. How can he develop himself? Okay, Dad, eat it. After taking a bite, an unpleasant taste filled his mouth. Seeing him frowning, Ao Chen quickly explained, devil fruits are very unpleasant to eat, so don't spit them out. Don't chew them, just swallow them, just take one bite. Quote. Ao Kong listened to his daughter's words and swallowed the fruit pulp in his mouth directly. Looking at the fruit that had been chewed, he asked, where is the rest? Ao Chen said, just throw it away, the rest is useless. Dad, feel the power of the devil fruit in your body and see if you can use it. Ao Kong did as he was told, and following the guidance of the power within his body, he gently raised his hand and pressed it, and a transparent cover appeared next to him. He glanced at the mop not far away, and with a thought, he changed places with the mop. Dad, you succeeded. Ao Shin and Ao Chen were very happy. Try the ability to cut off all things again. Ao Kong pulled out the saber he had placed next to him for chopping zombies and slashed at the table. The table was suddenly cut in half like a piece of paper. Dad, cut me. Try to cut me. Ao Chen excitedly jumped in front of his father and asked him to cut himself off. Ao Kong was speechless. Although he had heard his daughter talk about the power of the surgical fruit, he still felt strange when he heard the request to be chopped. It's like giving birth to a mentally retarded daughter. It's not good. Dad's operation is not very smooth, in case it hurts you. Ao Chen refused to listen, but no matter how she begged, Ao Kong was unwilling to chop her. Physical fatigue gradually sets in, and using any of the fruit's abilities consumes a lot of physical energy. The consumption of surgical fruits is particularly high. Ao Kong, who had already had a battle with zombies, had not yet recovered his physical strength. After trying this for a few times, he immediately couldn't bear it anymore. He took off the room cover and sat on the sofa to rest. Ao Chen obediently ran up behind Ao Kong and squeezed his shoulders. While squeezing, she suggested to Ao Shin, brother, I think we should try other places. With my ability, I can find devil fruits. The number of devil fruits that appear in one place is limited, but as long as we go to enough places, we will definitely be able to find more devil fruits. When the time comes, give one to Mom, Sister Xiao, and Brother Meng Kui. We can dominate Bian City. Ao Chen's proposal moved Ao Shin. Lu Xiao was also moved that Ao Chen was thinking of her. She is very good at dealing with people. In this short period of time, she has gained the favor of Ao Shin's whole family. Ao Shin sat aside and thought, my sister is right, she has this ability. It would be a waste if she only developed it in Bian City. Many devil fruits have yet to be discovered. Or after the capable person dies, his fruit is refreshed and has not been obtained by others. If he takes advantage of this opportunity, he can use Ao Chen's fruit talent to collect more devil fruits. Not only can it improve the strength of your family, it is also a highly valuable resource. In the future, when people become familiar with this collapsed world and gain a foothold in the apocalypse, major forces will also appear one after another. Although he is powerful, he is not yet powerful enough to dominate the world. These fruits can be traded to obtain what you need most. Or it can be used to win over strong people and make them become their subordinates. But he was never worried about his family's safety. Don't worry, Xiaoshen. Now that Dad has devil fruit powers, and with the help of Miss Lu and Brother Meng, we will be fine. Seeing his worries, his father said, and there is also the food you prepared in advance, which is enough for us to eat for a long time. Even if we finish eating these, we can still buy them from the God-given space. We can also kill zombies and get points. Don't worry too much about us. Dad will protect your mother. Mother also echoed. Your father is right, we can no longer understand this world. You can rest assured to do what you want to do. With your help, we can survive in the apocalypse. Even Lu Xiao expressed her loyalty to him. Master, I will definitely take good care of the two old masters. As long as I am still alive, I will not let them be harmed at all. At this time, Meng Kui was exhausted and returned to his room to rest. When he heard them talking about this, he also promised, "Don't worry, brother, I will take good care of our parents." Ao Shin was quite moved and accepted these two people, which was good. "Okay, then I'll leave my parents to you. I will transfer another 400 points to each of you, which can be used to exchange for potions and various foods. It will also help you improve your strength faster." The tough tone did not allow anyone to refuse, so he transferred 400 points each to his parents, Lu Xiao and Meng Kui, and his points were basically used up. But it's easy for him to kill zombies now, and he doesn't care about that. "Now that my sister's proposal has been approved, it must be implemented as soon as possible." Then, he spent 10 points to establish a communication group through the God-given space, and brought in his parents, sister, Meng Kui, and Lu Xiao. In this way, even if he leaves, he can always communicate with his family and understand their situation. After finishing all this, he took Ao Chen out of the house, got into the large truck parked at the door, and the two of them headed out of the city. "Where to?" Ao Shin handed the question of direction to Ao Chen. "You are a treasure rat. Even if you cannot sense the treasure, your intuition should still be useful." Ao Chen felt it was reasonable. "Go to the west, to the provincial capital. There are more people there and the cities are bigger, so the probability of devil fruit appearing will be greater." Following Duo Bao Shu's intuition, Ao Shin drove towards the west of the city. On the way, they would get out of the car from time to time and have a fight. After they were exhausted, they would return to the truck and rest while driving. But after all, large trucks are inconvenient, and Ao Shin feels that an off-road vehicle is still needed. After entering the provincial capital, they continued to move in a straight line to the west. As expected, there were hundreds of times more zombies here than in Bian City. Moreover, there is an army here to clean up the zombies in an organized manner. Guns and cannons fired in unison, causing zombie limbs to fly everywhere. However, unless their heads are blown off, they still have the ability to move. Ao Shin's large truck was intercepted by the military. Military operations ahead. No movement here, but the soldier who intercepted them did not let them leave directly. Instead, he registered and pointed them in a direction. "Going in that direction, there are shelters built overnight, surrounded by our military garrison. It is absolutely safe, and food and water are provided regularly. The country is indeed trying its best to prevent this disaster. Unfortunately, this disaster cannot be fought by human civilization." Ao Shin did not go to the shelter in the direction indicated by the soldier, nor did they come here to take refuge. After turning the car around, they decided to go around here. An officer saw the big truck leaving but did not stop to dissuade him. As the saying goes, it's hard to persuade a ghost with good words. They said everything they needed to say, but this person still wanted to leave, and there was nothing they could do. Even if they are forced to stay, if they want to leave, it will only cause more trouble. Besides, they are unable to take care of so many things now. Those who are willing to accept the protection of the military will risk their lives to protect the people, but those who are too smart to stay will only be left to their own destiny. Returning to the road we came from, when we reached a fork in the road, Ao Chen said to drive north, so Ao Shin followed her instructions and went in that direction. After walking about 7 or 8 kilometers north, Ao Chen suddenly asked him to continue heading west. This place is not surrounded by the military, and zombies are still rampant. Occasionally, people can be seen relying on buildings to fight zombies. They use various methods to kill zombies and then immediately retreat to the house. After resting, they come out again to look for opportunities to kill zombies. Everyone is trying their best to survive in the apocalypse. Suddenly, Ao Shin's eyes lit up. Although he didn't find the devil fruit, he found something better. In front of a luxurious villa, a Dongfang warrior is parked. This vehicle, said to be an off-road vehicle, is actually equivalent to a civilian armored vehicle. Except for the lack of positioning system and weapon system, a solid batch. It is Ao Shin's ideal car. A young man relied on the warrior to open a hole in the car door. Then he got into the car, stretched out a spear, and stabbed the incoming zombies. Although it is difficult to hit the head directly, slowly grinding it can allow him to kill a few zombies. Ao Shin parked the large truck next to the Dongfang warrior and jumped off together with Ao Chen. The dragon form is activated, and a thickened and weighted baseball bat is invincible. This stick is very useful. Even if he already has points to exchange for a sharp knife, he still uses this stick. The young man who was hiding in the car grinding away zombies saw a large truck suddenly stop beside him, and his heart skipped a beat. At this time, it was not unusual for a rich man like him to be robbed. His father, whose body was hollowed out by tobacco, alcohol and women, was directly infected by the zombie virus and turned into a zombie, killing his entire family. Only he escaped by hiding in the Dongfang warrior in time. Then, he relied on this car to deal with zombies. Just when he was worried and unsure of the other party's intentions, a dragon and a cute girl with white fur and big ears jumped out of the large truck and killed all the zombies surrounding him. What the hell, Boss Qinglong? He immediately recognized the classic appearance of Ao Shin. Qinglong, why is Big Qinglong here? Why did he save me? Are you going to rob me too? While he was thinking wildly, Ao Shin had already cleaned up all the zombies here and knocked on the car window. The young man in the armored car opened the door carefully. He knew that the Qinglong boss could easily destroy his car if he wanted to. Therefore, it is better to cooperate honestly. The other party is very understanding, and Ao Shin doesn't embarrass him too much. A truck, half a truck full of diesel, I want this car of yours. He stated his purpose straightforwardly. Anyway, the truck won't be able to drive after changing the car, so it's better to just trade it. As for the diesel, he couldn't carry it all, so it was a good time to trade it. The corners of the young man's mouth twitched. He was not a fool, and he quickly understood Ao Shin's purpose. This is a waste of money. Boss, I don't want anything. Please take me with you, and I'll give you the car. After nearly 2 days of surviving the doomsday, he has deeply understood that the horror of the doomsday is completely different from what he imagined. If I don't hug my thighs, how can I wait? Ao Shin is speechless. This guy is so thick-skinned. After thinking about it, he said, I still have something to do and I can't take you with me. Let's do this. 30 points are enough for you to redeem the 3-color domineering practice method and use it to trade for your car. But the young man still wanted to take advantage of him. Boss, take me with you. I have learned how to survive in the wilderness. I can do many things. He is a doomsday enthusiast and once fantasized about how he would survive if the doomsday came. Therefore, he specially customized this thickened civilian armored vehicle, modified the door, added a small window, and customized a pig hunting spear, which was divided into 2 sections and could be disassembled and installed. He thought that when the time comes, he can hide in the armored car and stick the spear out of the car door window to kill the zombies. To this end, he also prepared a complete set of outdoor survival equipment, as well as a large number of daily necessities such as canned dry food. In addition, he also raised 2 kangaroos and a Caucasian, and continued to practice bow and arrow for more than 3 years. I thought that if there really was an apocalypse, I would definitely be able to live a cool life. It's a pity that man's calculation is not as good as God's calculation. His wealthy father, whose body was hollowed out by wine and woman's, could not resist the first wave of zombie virus infection and turned directly into a zombie. So much so that his family was wiped out in an instant, and 3 dogs were infected and turned into zombies. He managed to escape to the car, but the survival equipment and supplies he had prepared were basically stored in the warehouse, and he did not dare to get out of the car and go back to get them. After hearing what happened to the young man, Ao Shin was speechless. How can the end of the world be so simple? It's impossible to take you with me. I have something else to do. But I can help you clean up the zombies in your villa. With 30 points, you can redeem the domineering practice method, and you can slowly become stronger on your own. Ao Shin insisted not to take him with him, and the young man was discouraged, but it was not bad to have 30 points that could be redeemed for the domineering practice method. While he was trapped in the car, he looked through all the merchandise in the God-given store. He knew that the world had completely changed. Points are the most important thing in the future. Ao Shin and Ao Chen took the young man into his villa and killed all his family members and dogs that had turned into corpses. After trading with him 30 points, 1/3 of the diesel in the truck was loaded into the armored vehicle. Practice your domineering skills well, and you can become a doomsday strongman. Before leaving, Ao Shin also encouraged the young man. Boss, My name is Lin Tian. Can you tell me your name? If I want to find you, where should I look? Ao Shin, who had just got into the car and was about to leave, was stunned when he heard the young man's words. Are you so obsessed with yourself? But it doesn't hurt to tell him. If this person really has talent, he can use it for his own use in the future. My name is Ao Shin. My home is in Biancheng. If you can walk to Biancheng, I will consider taking you in. With these words behind him, he started the car and drove away. In the same place, only Lin Tian was left muttering to himself, Ao Shin. It's just a walk to Biancheng, I can definitely do it. Looking up, he saw that the zombies wandering in the distance had begun to come here. He quickly returned to his villa and closed the door. With the points, he can practice domineering. After Ao Shin changed cars, he moved faster and faster. The sound of gunfire roared in his ears, and he went in the opposite direction of the sound of gunfire. Killing zombies is useless. Even if the zombies' heads are chopped off, these dead zombies will be eaten by other zombies and trigger evolution. To completely eliminate zombies, you need to set fire to them and completely burn their corpses. However, when zombie corpses are burned, the corpse gas accumulated in their bodies will diffuse into the air, causing the concentration of zombie viruses in the air to increase, further infecting humans with weak constitutions. Moreover, zombie viruses will be catalyzed at high temperatures and become more powerful. This is a dilemma. The only way is to practice domineering. Domination is the process of body training. If you train your body to the extreme, you will not be afraid of zombie viruses and zombies. Other methods are just to boil the soup and stop it from boiling. It would be nice if your treasure hiding space was larger. On the way, Ao Shin complained to Ao Chen, this way we can bring all the diesel. Now that fuel is limited, the range we can search for is limited. Ao Chen sat slumped in the passenger seat, holding a bag of potato chips and eating slowly. When she heard Ao Shin's complaints, she rolled her eyes. TCH, do you think I don't want to? How can it be so easy to develop fruit abilities? Ao Shin scolded her while driving, eat less junk food. When you are tired, go to the Godsend store to exchange for a piece of water and meat. It can replenish your physical strength very well. Ao Chen loudly refused. No. While the two brothers and sisters were arguing, Ao Chen suddenly sensed something. She quickly put down the potato chips and sat upright. Her big ears stood straight up, and her little nose sniffed hard again. After sensing it carefully for a moment, she said to Ao Shin. Brother, it's in the southwest. I feel like there's a treasure there. Ao Shin's spirit was shaken, and he immediately became excited when he heard that there was a treasure. He no longer got out of the car to kill the zombies, but tried to avoid them and headed towards the direction pointed by Ao Chen at full speed. When they finally arrived near their destination, they found that things were not simple. This is a factory, and a barbed wire fence is installed outside. Many small machines and abandoned tables and chairs are piled at the door to prevent zombie invasion. Behind the barrier, someone used tools from the factory to modify some long-handled knives, which were used to kill zombies trying to destroy the barrier. In the factory, there are still many people walking around, checking for leaks and filling gaps to prevent zombies from crawling in. If a zombie is found climbing the barbed wire fence, someone will immediately stab the zombie down with a long stick welded with a sharp blade like a spear. This place has become a primary security base. Being able to do this proves that the organizers here are not simple. Wait for me in the car. There are a lot of zombies outside, so it is not suitable for Ao Chen to practice here. Ao Shin picked up the baseball bat, opened the door and got out of the car, without turning on the dragon transformation. When he hit the baseball bat, he still cracked the skull of a zombie. With another blow, the zombie's head exploded completely. This scene completely shocked the workers in the factory who were standing behind the barrier at the door. This kid doesn't want his life. How dare he get out of the car with so many zombies? At first, when the workers saw Ao Shin getting out of the car and fighting zombies alone, they thought he was looking for death. But the next second, when they saw the zombies being easily headshot, these people's eyes widened. Did I see it wrong? This kid is so strong. 2 sticks kill a zombie. Is this still a human being? Even the so-called devil fruit users are nothing more than this. A lot of workers were talking, and the zombies who had been trying to break down the barriers at the door and rush in were attracted by Ao Shin. He still hasn't activated dragon transformation, because he has now reached the copper skin realm. His already good body and a month of hard training gave him a strong foundation. The domineering genius directly awakens domineering power, and has the dual effects of passive improvement and active practice speed doubling. His domineering power progressed quickly, reached the copper skin realm on the second day after the end. The so-called copper skin is of course not really a skin like copper and iron. Body training starts from the outside in. The skin is the first layer of barrier of the body. Training the skin to the point of toughness can greatly reduce the impact the body receives and the counter-shock force it endures during attacks. This is the first transformation of the body during exercise. Strength, defense, speed, recovery ability, etc. are also comprehensively improved. Even if he does not transform into a dragon, the blue dragon fruit still provides a certain physical bonus to his normal human form. This allows him to easily kill zombies when not using his abilities. Moreover, without the use of abilities, the difficulty of killing zombies will increase, and the increase in domineering will be faster. The workers behind the barrier at the factory gate were stunned as they watched Ao Shin kill everyone. It didn't take long for someone to notice the key point. I know his car is the Dongfeng Warrior. It's a civilian armored vehicle. He could have driven this car away from the zombies, but he parked it in front of our door. He must have some ideas about our base. That's right. Go tell the boss. Some workers left immediately and told their leader about Ao Shin. Outside the factory, Ao Shin retreated towards the car while fighting, went to the car window, and said to Ao Chen, "Give me a piece of water and meat." The consumption of a lot of domineering energy made him extremely tired, so Ao Chen immediately exchanged it for a piece of water and meat and handed it to him. He was eating meat and vegetables with his left hand, and he raised the baseball bat with his right hand and continued to hit the zombies on the head. The fighting skills trained in the previous life are gradually integrated into the body of this life. Although he didn't use a weapon like an iron rod in his previous life, he knew how to use physical skills by analogy. He just felt that the baseball bat in his hand became more and more comfortable the more he used it. This is also the reason why he has never exchanged a sharp knife. On the one hand, he doesn't like the quality of fast knives, and on the other hand, early knives are not as easy to use as blunt instruments. There were many zombies gathered in front of the factory, and his attacks did not stop for a moment. In the factory, a muscular man with a darker complexion who looked about 30 years old was led by a worker to this gate. He is indeed a master. He looked solemn. Ao Shin killed the zombies too easily, which put a lot of pressure on him. Can they stand up to this person if he has evil intentions towards their base? Before coming, he listened to the workers' accounts and had the idea of subduing this master. But now it seems that it may be difficult for him to suppress him. Moreover, this master is a young man, at an age when he is strong-blooded and arrogant. How can he be willing to be inferior to others so easily? Immediately send a message through the God-given space. Lao Wang, Lao Wei, Lao Lu, the three of you come here, and each of you will bring 2 more people. In the communication channel, Lao Wang said doubtfully, "Boss, what happened? We are about to kill this zombie." Lao Lu also asked, "Yes, Lao Zhang, what happened over there?" Only Old Wei did not ask too much. After seeing the news, he immediately rushed to the north gate with the 2 people around him. Lao Zhang said, "There is a master here. He may have ideas about our base. I'm afraid that we guys can't defeat him. I need you to bring a few people to support us." Master. These people were even more surprised. "Boss, you have nearly 20 people here, but you can't beat a master. Is he a devil fruit user?" Lao Zhang said, "No, he uses a baseball bat, and 2 sticks can kill a zombie in the head. It's very strong. He may have awakened his domineering power. It's only been a few days before you can awaken your domineering energy." Lao Wang and Lao Lu were shocked and understood the seriousness of the matter. They told the workers around them to focus on defense and wait for their return. Then he led 2 strong workers towards the north gate. Several of them were people in the factory who had already redeemed the armed color practice method. Although they haven't awakened their haki yet, with their training, their physiques have surpassed everyone else's and they have become one of the strongest people here. After everyone gathered at the north gate, they were also shocked by Ao Shin's fighting power. "Holy shit, is this still a human?" He has definitely awakened his armed hockey. More than that, I doubt he has reached the copper skin realm. He is no longer an ordinary person like us. Several people clenched their weapons. Fortunately, they were in a factory and used lathes to turn out many handy weapons, so they could resist the zombies so easily. Lao Zhang even suggested bringing everyone's family members to the factory and using the factory as a base to resist the zombie invasion. Not only did he propose this, he also took the lead in doing so, driving a big car with Lao Wang and others to pick up the families of the workers. Of course, many people died on the way. However, more people can be brought back safely. Therefore, he can become the leader recognized by everyone and make the defense of this factory sound. Now that I see Ao Shin's strength, I can't help but feel nervous. Boss, this young man is so strong, why not let him join us? Our life will be much easier in the future. Some workers suggested this. No, what if he competes with two for the position? You must not let him in. And we don't know him, who knows what kind of person he is. This is the end of the world, what if he treats your wife and daughter? Before the man could finish speaking, he was interrupted. Shut up, you idiot. But there are still people who think it is good to have more than one master around. Boss, don't worry, we will only recognize you forever. No matter how strong that person is, he really annoys us. Doesn't he want to sleep? We have plenty of ways to get rid of him. Everyone's comments made Lao Zhang a little upset. He stared closely at Ao Shin's movements, and the more he watched, the more frightened he became. This young man is like a battle-hardened warrior. Every move is for killing, without any unnecessary pretense. Moreover, he is always able to predict the zombies' next attack and react in advance. He was sure that this was definitely a sight. Ao Shin discovered after she was released from dragon transformation that if she wanted to quickly increase her domineering level, she couldn't rely too much on fruit abilities. In this battle, he could clearly feel that his armament and knowledge had improved greatly. When he was tired, he returned to the armored vehicle. Ao Chen handed over a stick of water and meat, relying on the water and meat to restore his strength and continue fighting. After a full hour, he finally cleared away the zombies in front of the north gate of the factory. Shaking his sore arms, he strode to the factory door. I need to go in and get something. He got straight to the point and stated his purpose. But how could Lao Zhang trust him easily? What do you want to get? Ao Shin can't say that he wants to get the devil fruit. It seems that the devil fruit here is hidden in an inconspicuous place, otherwise it would have been eaten by these people. Get some vegetables, so he said. As soon as these words came out, Lao Zhang was even more sure that he was coming to his base, and he was going to trick himself into opening the door and occupying the base. What is there in the art of war? The false path will destroy Guo. Although he is just an ordinary worker, he can still read the art of war on weekdays. Don't try to lie to this person. We don't even have enough to eat ourselves, so you can find it elsewhere. Lao Zhang refused. Ao Shin narrowed his eyes, knowing that these people would not let him pass easily. What if I have to go get it? The threat is extremely strong. Although he is not a good person, he usually does not kill people casually. I hope these people can understand. Obviously these people are ignorant. After being threatened, it even aroused public outrage. Why are you so arrogant? Do you think you are invincible if you can kill a few zombies? There are so many of us, why are we afraid of you? Come in if you have the guts. The workers were noisy, but Lao Zhang remained silent. He wanted to test how Ao Shin would handle it. It would be best if you just give up. If there was a conflict, with so many people on his side, would he really dare to kill them all? After causing public outrage, even if he occupies the factory, doesn't he want anyone to manage and build it? Unfortunately, he didn't know that Ao Shin was not interested in this factory. He also knew that others would not believe it. An invisible aura spread, and the workers felt as if they were facing the power of the Wang King. They trembled and feared in their hearts, and some even fell to their knees with a thud. The most timid ones even fainted from fear. Only Lao Zhang and a few other people who had started to practice could look directly at him, but they were also shocked. Overlord color. Definitely Overlord color. A worker who knelt down said, "Boss, let him in. Even if he is the head, there is no shame in it." Yes, the workers who were insulting Ao Shin just now were shocked by the Overlord look, and they all turned against him, hoping to welcome the new king. Lao Zhang and the others had complicated expressions. Even if they had paid so much for them, they would still sell themselves out without hesitation at the critical moment. After Ao Shin released his overlord look, he no longer planned to continue negotiating with them. What a waste of time. The baseball bat in his hand was wrapped in a layer of black light, and with a strong smash, the barriers that the workers had worked so hard to set up were broken open. Lao Zhang tightened his grip on the weapon in his hand, but in the end he did not dare to take action. Ao Shin glanced at him, and he had naturally noticed those little moves. It's better to be honest and think about who has a stronger head, you or the zombies. Then, he called to the armored vehicle, Xiaochen. Come. Hey, here we come. Ao Chen, who had been watching the show, heard his call and immediately took out his keys and jumped out of the car, jumping up and down and running towards Ao Shin. What a beautiful girl. Only then did they discover that there was another person in the car, a beautiful girl in her 28s. This led them to speculate on Ao Shin's identity. Ao Chen ran to Ao Shin, hugged his left arm, and led him towards the factory as if he were at home. The workers looked at their retreating figures, and some were staring at the car parked at the door. Dongfang warrior, if we can get this car, it will be easier for us to go to the city to find supplies. If you're not afraid of that master, just go ahead and steal it. No matter how strong he is still human. By the time he finds out, I will have already stolen the car. Haha, if you run away, he will vent his anger on us. Do you want us to die? Lao Zhang interrupted their argument irritably. Don't touch that car. Otherwise, you will become the enemy of our entire base. Come with a few people and come with me to see what they are going to do. It would be okay if they really just grabbed something and left. Just afraid. Ao Shin led Ao Shin towards the back of the warehouse while sniffing her delicate little nose. Lao Zhang and others who were following them from a distance were puzzled. What are they doing in the cafeteria? Do you really want to get some vegetables? In the canteen, there is a group of women who choose vegetables, cut meat, and wash pots. They are the workers' family members. After being taken to the factory, they are responsible for the logistics work. It felt strange to see Ao Shin and Ao Shin coming in at this moment. They had never met these two people. And with the looks of Ao Shin and Ao Chen, if you had seen them, even if you only saw them once, you would remember them for a long time. Obviously, these two people were not from the factory. Who are you? A fat middle-aged woman blocked their way and asked with an arrogant look. Not to mention strangers, even coworkers cannot enter the kitchen casually. In the apocalypse, supplies are limited, and each supply must be distributed reasonably. How can it be entered and exited at will? Roll. Ao Shin snorted coldly, and the shrew suddenly became furious. What did you say, little fool? You are a mother-in-law, but you are not a mother-in-law. Where do you think this is? If you dare to talk to me like this, I will hang you at the door to feed the zombies later. He looked at Ao Chen again and said, Hey, I'm bringing a pretty little girl with me. Which club did she bring her from? I'll serve it to the young guys in the factory who don't have wives. Ao Shin raised his head, his eyes filled with untouchable majesty. When the shrew was frightened, the baseball bat Ao Shin was holding fell down. Shu Qin. Behind them, Lao Wang, who had followed them into the cafeteria, was furious. All he saw was that the young man smashed his wife's head into pieces with a stick. Brains flowed all over the floor, and women in the room suddenly screamed in terror. Killing. They had seen zombies killing people before, but this was the first time they saw people killing people. Lao Wang raised the steel knife in his hand. I will fight with you. Veins popped out on his forehead, and anger had filled his chest. Calm down, Lao Wang. Lao Zhang wanted to hold him back, but how could he easily hold the angry Lao Zhang back? The hatred of killing his wife made him lose his mind. A person in anger has unlimited potential. He rushed towards Ao Shin with a knife like an angry beast, vowing to avenge his wife. Seeing that he could not stop Lao Wang, Lao Zhang stamped his feet and gritted his teeth and said, Brothers, come on together. Our women have been bullied and we cannot let this evil man go. Ao Shin's face was expressionless. He might not be able to do anything if he scolded himself, but if he scolded his family, he would definitely make them pay in blood. Xiaochen, the dangers in the apocalypse are not only zombies, but also humans. Many times, the evil in people's hearts is more terrifying than zombie monsters. Now you dare to kill zombies, but do you dare to kill people? Ao Shin didn't even look back. He took a slight step to the side, raised his baseball bat and smashed Lao Wang's head into pieces. Order has collapsed. If someone bullies you or insults you, you must give him a bloody lesson. Ao Shin turned around to face the rushing workers, while teaching Ao Chen earnestly. Ao Chen was speechless. She dared to kill zombies, but she still couldn't do it when he asked him to kill people. If you want to survive in the apocalypse, you must abandon all compassion. I will not offend others unless they offend me. If someone offends me, I will kill them no matter how far away they are. After the words fell, Ao Shin opened his mouth and let out a hot breath, and the scorching flames sprayed out more than 10 meters away, burning all the workers who rushed towards him to ashes. He is a devil fruit user. At this time, why don't others understand that Ao Shin is a capable person? As the leader, Lao Zhong retreated in fear, but how could Ao Shin give him a chance to escape? He immediately transformed into a dragon and quickly caught up with him. 2 blasts of heat breath swept through him, killing all the workers chasing him in the cafeteria. When she returned to Ao Chen, the girl was still a little at a loss, while the women shrank in the corner in fear when they saw his gaze staring at them. Their psychological defenses were immediately defeated. Brother, please don't kill me. I'm sorry, don't kill me. Their noses were filled with tears and their cries resounded throughout the canteen, attracting more people. Xiaochen, kill them. Ao Shin pointed at the women indifferently. Doomsday rules, eradicate the roots. Now that hatred has been sown, there will never be any future troubles. Many people have caused trouble for themselves because of a moment of compassion. Ao Chen grabbed the corner of his clothes tightly. After all, she is only a 16-year-old girl, and she cannot change her mentality from civilized society to the apocalypse. Brother, the person who scolded you is dead. They are innocent, so let them go. Ao Shin let out another breath of hot breath. The ground was covered with charcoal. Xiaochen, this is the end of the world. A little contradiction can lead to conflict, but any conflict will always end with the death or injury of one party. Feeling sad, there is still reminiscence in the eyes. In his last life, he thought that it was enough to kill those who had conflicts with him. He thought he was cold-blooded enough, but he still died because of the virgin at that moment. Some people persuade themselves that it is enough to kill their enemies without involving their families. However, after that person's child became stronger, he began to crazily seek revenge on himself. Under the planning of 2 bad men and women, he successfully died in the hands of that young man. In this life, he would rather be called a devil than show mercy. Arriving at the place Ao Chen sensed. This is the warehouse where food is stored in the factory canteen. A stick violently broke it open, and they found the devil fruit squeezed into a fruit basket below. It was still a type he didn't recognize, so he gave it to Ao Chen and placed it in the treasure room. The 2 left the factory. However, as soon as he reached the gate of the factory, he saw his car being driven away. Although Ao Chen pulled out the key, there are always masters of unlocking among the people who can do it. He turned into a green dragon and carried Ao Chen up to the sky. He soon saw his car. Qinglong swooped down and knocked the car over with one impact. Transforming into a human again, Ao Chen took out the key and opened the car door. He reached out and pulled the worker out of the car. Boss, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. The man was so frightened that he urinated in feces, and a stench came over him. Ao Shin frowned and slapped him against a big tree by the roadside. But in an instant, the man's brain exploded and he was already dead. Back in the car, the naughty Ao Chen was silent all the way. She was really frightened by Ao Shin's decisive killing methods today. It was as if that was not his brother. After a long time, she spoke carefully. Brother, you were so scary before. Ao Shin sighed. Xiaochen, remember, it is the end of the world now. Except for our family, there is no one in this world who cannot be killed. Suddenly, Ao Chen said, Brother, are you reborn? Ao Shin, have I ever exposed any flaws? Why did this girl suddenly say this? Seeing his surprise, Ao Chen became more and more sure of his guess. Before the apocalypse began, you were frantically stocking up on food. If I asked you where the money came from, you wouldn't tell me. I guess it's a black loan from the internet. I was puzzled before, but after the end of the world came, I began to suspect that you must have known that the end of the world was coming, so you did this. You also told Mom to take leave and take me home. You are so firm, you must know it. Besides, since you came home, I have felt that you are so strange, as if you were another person. You are completely different from the Ao Shin before. The Ao Shin of the past would not kill so decisively. I have also read a lot of online articles. I think there are only two reasons for this situation. Either you are reborn, or you are taken away. Speaking of the last sentence, Ao Chen's voice became lower and lower. She didn't dare to look at Ao Shin, for fear that her brother was no longer the same person. Ao Shin was surprised that he had done so many unreasonable things. Xiaochen was always smart, so it was not surprising that he could guess these things. He smiled and said, "What if my body is taken away from me?" Ao Chen mustered up his courage, stared at him and said, "If you are taken away, you will definitely kill me after I know your secret. But I still want to know the truth. Even if you want to kill me, my parents don't know anything. Considering that you used my brother's body, can you be nice to my parents? Moreover, if your body was taken away from you, is my brother dead now? Can I still see him?" Ao Shin was moved after hearing this. The little girl's pain was not in vain. Even though she knew it was risky to ask and she might die, she still wanted to know about her brother's safety and always thought about her parents. His heart felt warm, and his tone unconsciously became gentle. "Don't worry, your brother is still your brother, I have been reborn." "Really?" Ao Chen was still a little doubtful. Ao Shin was speechless, stretched out his hand and gave her a headache. "Really? Ouch, stinky brother." But after being hit by such a familiar figure, she confirmed that the person in front of her was really her brother and not someone who had been kidnapped. After knowing this, the nervousness and anxiety in her heart disappeared, and she suddenly said excitedly, "Brother, how did you die in your previous life? Was I great in your previous life? And our parents, are they okay?" Speaking of her past life, Ao Shin felt a little sad. "You are all dead." Ao Chen was silent when he heard this. "This is really a sad story," Ao Shin said seriously. "But in this life, I won't let you get hurt in any way. No matter who in this world dares to hurt you, I will punish him from all 9 tribes. Xiaochen, we will definitely survive until the end." Chapter 21. After leaving the factory, the two continued heading west. On the way, after encountering a group of zombies, they got out of the car and fought with the zombies. In order to exercise his domineering power, Ao Shin no longer activates Qinglong's ability. Ao Chen has not yet awakened her domineering power and is very weak. With the speed boost of the Duobao rat, she can fight the zombies with ease. The two of them walked westward for 3 days. "Brother, the knife is sharpened." After another fierce battle, Ao Chen sat in the co-pilot and panted. Her knife was an ordinary navy knife. After so many battles, the blade had been sharpened, and the efficiency of cutting zombies had become much lower. Ao Shin took the long knife in her hand and looked at it. In addition to the gap, the blade was also curled up, and even the interface of the handle was slightly loose. This is also the reason why he did not exchange the sword. Ordinary swords are very difficult to use. Even if it's a good sword, he doesn't like it. If you want to support a long-term battle, you need at least a weapon of the level of a sharp knife. Weapons of this level, coupled with the long-term accumulation of armed color domineering, can continuously improve the quality of the weapon and reach the point of indestructibility. Just change the curling blade to another one. Ao Shin didn't care about this and spent 100 points to exchange an ordinary navy sword for Ao Chen. As for her original one, it's not that it cannot be used. If it is sharpened and repaired, it can still be used. But he didn't have the equipment or time. Fortunately, the God-given space could be recycled. He could directly recycle the curled knife in the space and get 50 points back. Although it was a rip-off, I had no choice but to endure it for the sake of my sister's improvement in strength. For 3 days, they found no more devil fruits. This dampened Ao Chen's initial enthusiasm. She even wondered if there was something wrong with her abilities, or if there weren't that many devil fruits in the world. But Ao Shin told her that this was normal. In his previous life, he lived until the second divine gift period. According to statistics from a powerful force, there were more than 10,000 people with different abilities. Although there are many more devil fruits than the less than 100 in the comics, on average with a population of nearly 10 billion in the world, they seem to be very few. Millionth. It is already rare for him to obtain 5 devil fruits in a row in the past few days. Brother, let's go in that direction. Ao Chen stuffed the new knife into his treasure storage space, pointed to a path beside the fork in the road and said to Ao Shin. There. Ao Shin was surprised and looked at the map. It led to the mountains. This place is already on the outskirts of the divine capital, surrounded by mountains. If you run to the mountains, there will be fewer zombies. In the past life, many people did run into the mountains to wait for the end of the world. As a result, the apocalypse soon completely destroyed human civilization. Those who fled into the mountains, although they escaped the tide of corpses, also lost the opportunity to become stronger. Either they starve to death because they can't find food, or they become infected and become zombies as the concentration of zombie viruses in the air becomes higher and higher. Or, die from the mouth of a wild beast. I have a feeling there's going to be good stuff there. Ao Chen herself was not sure. After all, intuition was too imaginary. She had pointed the way several times before with intuition, but she had not obtained any treasures. Okay, it's up to you. But Ao Shin trusted her and immediately drove towards the mountains. There were no zombies blocking the road, and the car rushed forward at full speed. Ao Chen also put a pair of white and tender calves in front of him, eating snacks while shaking, and scrolling through videos and posts in the God-given space. Ha ha ha, so funny. Suddenly the girl laughed nervously. When Ao Shin was confused, she had already exited the God-given space. While laughing, she shared the gossip she saw with Ao Shin. Brother, I just read a post. Someone was complaining because they didn't get the devil fruit. Ao Shin, what's so funny about this? He wondered if this stupid sister was really mentally ill. Seeing the retarded expression on his face, Ao Chen suddenly became unhappy. Hey, what's that expression on your face? Do you know who this complainer is? Who? Ao Shin felt that no matter who it was impossible to be so funny. How many devil fruits are there? It's normal not to get it. It's Oda. Ao Chen laughed and said a name. Ao Shin was stunned. He laughed too. It's really funny. Old thief Oda is probably going to be furious. You don't know, this post has gone viral in the God-given space, and some people want Oda to teach hockey techniques, but Oda said, I am just a bad painter, and I know nothing about hockey. Ha 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 ha. Thinking about his previous life, it seems that Oda did not achieve much fame. Even though the world he wrote was given by God, it has nothing to do with the original author. Deep in the mountains, in a dilapidated Taoist temple, an old Taoist priest was thrown out by 3 sturdy men. No, you can't do this. The old Taoist priest is too old and his legs and feet are not very agile. If he hadn't kept in good health and practiced Qi on weekdays, he might have been infected by the zombie virus in the air. But his origin is only strong, but his body is extremely decayed. Stinky Taoist, it's an honor for me to use your Taoist temple. If you push me too hard, I'll kill you directly. A fierce-looking bald man kicked the old Taoist priest viciously, and then kicked the old Taoist priest to the ground again after he finally sat up from the ground. Brother Joe, I went to see it just now. There is still some rice behind the Taoist temple. If you save some food, it will be enough for a month. With the supplies we brought, it shouldn't be a big problem to avoid the tide of corpses. A thin young man walked out of the Taoist temple and reported what he saw to the bald head with a playful smile. Yes. The bald head nodded with satisfaction. There will be no zombies in this quiet place. We can just wait for the military to completely eliminate the zombies before going back. Just as they were about to return to the Taoist temple, another big man carried a 5 or 6-year-old Taoist priest and threw him directly on the old Taoist priest. Why the hell are you hiding, a little kid? If you dare to steal my food, I will kill you. As he spoke, he used a dagger to mark the 2 Taoist priests, left with a grin, and closed the door of the Taoist temple with a bang. Inside the wall, there was a sputtering sound. What kind of crap are these? The altar table has been dismantled and can be used to light the fire. If the statue is removed, it will take up too much space. Brother Joe, the statue in the main hall is too big, we can't move it. If you can't break it, won't you smash it? If you smash it, there might be some gold. When we go back, we can make a fortune. The two small statues were thrown out of the wall and hit the old Taoist priest's thigh, breaking his already osteoporotic thigh. Ouch! The old Taoist priest cried out in pain, but what made him even more heartbroken was that the statue of the god in the Taoist temple was thrown out like garbage. You will be punished. Lezu will punish you. On the wild trail in the mountains, an armored vehicle drove over. Seeing that it was getting dark, Ao Shin planned to park the car on the roadside and rest for the night. Just as I turned the foot of a mountain, I suddenly saw some light ahead. Bright. If there is light, it means there are people, but in the last days, others are the least trustworthy. Did he kill the owner there just to stay in peace? Although he is cruel, he will not attack innocent people. He parked his car on the side of the road and took advantage of the light there, planning to spend the night there. After driving down, Ao Chen took out a set of camping equipment from the back of the car, which was a large tent, and rolled it out on the spot. Although the apocalypse is dangerous and zombies are scary, under Ao Shin's careful care, Ao Chen is not afraid, but feels a sense of excitement. Sitting on a mat, she looked up at the sky. The zombie virus has made the air turbid, and the stars and moon in the sky look a little blurry. Brother, tell me about your past life. Ever since he learned that Ao Shin was a reborn person, Ao Chen liked to pester him to tell him stories about the past. The experience of little people struggling to survive in the apocalypse sounded very touching to her. Good. He might only tell his sister these things. And having someone who can listen to him tell his past secrets is a blessing. Sit on a mat and place your baseball bat within direct reach. This is a habit he has developed since his previous life. Never leave your hands with your weapon at any time. Previous life. His star-like eyes fell into long-lasting memories. Suddenly, a heart-rending roar sounded, and he stood up with a roar. Brother, what's wrong? Ao Chen couldn't help but become nervous when he saw him standing up suddenly. He quickly took out his long knife from the treasure hiding space and looked around carefully. It's corpse roar. Ao Shin looked serious, already holding the baseball bat in his hand, and looked towards the bright light in the distance. The roar came from there. Zombie roar. Ao Chen was puzzled. What is corpse roar? Zombie roar is the roar of zombies. Ao Shin explained. But, have you ever heard a zombie roar? When Ao Chen was reminded by him, he was shocked to realize that he had killed many zombies, but he had never heard a zombie speak, let alone roar like this. The zombies' bodies rot and their vocal cords rot, so they can't make a sound. However, as zombies evolve, their bodies will gradually be repaired and they will gradually have basic physical functions, such as speaking. But if you want to speak out, you have to be at least a 1-star zombie. 1 star. Ao Chen didn't know the classification of zombies yet. Ao Shin said, the zombies that just transformed into zombies are just the lowest level zombies without any level. Inferior zombies are just walking corpses. They stagger forward and are not very fast. They can only use a few pounces occasionally. Except that they are stronger and have harder bones, they are not difficult to deal with. Even ordinary people, there is also a chance to kill it. When they complete the repair of their bodies by devouring flesh and blood and no longer rot, they will complete the first step of evolution. At this moment, apart from being covered in corpse spots and smelling like corpses, they are able to walk like normal people. By this time, they are faster and can use human-like fighting movements, not just grabbing and biting. At this time, they are 1-star zombies. 1-star zombies are also called flesh zombies. The corpse's body has been completed, so it can roar. But if you want to deal with flesh corpses, you must at least reach the copper skin realm. It's no longer safe here. Ao Shin said to Ao Chen, you get back in the car, and I'll go to the front to take a look. If it's just a flesh corpse, it's fine. If it's a 2-star zombie, we will be in danger. He is only at the copper skin realm now. If he wants to deal with 2-star zombies, also known as zombies, he needs to reach the iron bone realm. But now the apocalypse has only started for 5 or 6 days, and zombies shouldn't evolve so fast. After sending Ao Chen to the armored vehicle, he transformed into a dragon and carried the iron rod towards the place where the roar came from. When he got closer, he discovered that the place emitting light was a dilapidated Taoist temple. Lei Zhu Guan, hidden in the mountains, so dilapidated, it is definitely not a Taoist temple packaged by secular business. Only here can there be real Taoist priests. Ah! The man's exclamation came, followed by the clanging of pots and pans being knocked down, a messy sound. The door of the Taoist temple suddenly opened, and a bald man rushed out of the Taoist temple in panic. Help! Help! Even though he knew that no one would rescue him deep in the mountains, he still shouted desperately. As a result, as soon as I ran out of the gate, I saw a dragon man coming with an iron rod. In the dark night, under the blurry moonlight, he was so frightened that he sat down on the ground. Monster! 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 Fear spread in his heart, and he didn't even think that this was the person with the ability who was photographed eating the azure dragon fruit in the God-given space. His spirit collapsed at this moment, feces and urine flowed from his buttocks, and he laughed stupidly. Ao Shin has a black line on his forehead, he is so big and bald, and his mental quality is so weak. Just as he was about to step into the audience, he saw the dilapidated wall of the main hall of the Taoist temple collapsed. An old man with jet black skin and wearing a monk's robe was biting a man's body crazily. On the ground, there were several chewed-up corpses. The old Taoist priest heard the sound and looked back. The moment Ao Shin met his eyes, he secretly thought something bad. It's not a corpse, it's a zombie. The old Taoist priest stretched his limbs straight even when eating. His dry hands were covered with sharp claws, and in his mouth were 4 fangs dripping with blood. It is clearly the characteristics of a zombie. Zombies are when the flesh corpse further evolves and uses a large amount of zombie viruses to strengthen the body. As a result, the virus accumulates in the body before being digested. The accumulated virus causes the zombie's body to become stiff, but it also creates a body made of copper and iron, making it extremely difficult to kill. Fortunately, the fatal part is still in the head. As long as the head is chopped off or smashed, it can still die. Gone. How can there be so many viruses for him to evolve in such an inaccessible place? Ao Shin cursed secretly, and the zombie veteran threw away the half-eaten corpse in his hand, jumped up, and rushed towards him. Although the zombie's body was stiff, it had already arrived in front of him with this leap. Ao Shin quickly raised his baseball bat to resist. The zombie bit down, and 4 deep teeth marks appeared on the baseball bat. Hot breath. A breath of hot breath was sprayed on the zombie's face, but it only burned off his hair and clothes. Although the skin and flesh were a little charred, it was not serious. Roar! The zombie veteran roared and rushed at him again with his claws waving. Thunder gossip. Although it is not domineering, the baseball bat wrapped with electricity really has the power of thunder and gossip. Boom! There was a loud noise, followed by the sound of slight bone cracking. Gone. Ao Shin cursed secretly, this zombie's skull is as hard as steel. This custom-made thickened and weighted baseball bat disconnected directly. What he achieved was just a crack in his skull. Roar! The zombie veteran roared and bit into Ao Shin's neck with his fishy fangs. The figure retreated sharply, and at the same time he spat out another breath of heat and roaring thunder, temporarily blocking the zombie. Elder brother! There was a scream from behind. It was Ao Chen who got off the armored vehicle after hearing the sound of fighting. This was the first time she saw Ao Shin being repelled by a monster. Xiaochen escaped underground. Wait until I kill him and come out again. I thought it was just a flesh corpse, but who knew it was actually a 2-star zombie. This kind of zombie is covered in copper skin and iron bones with strange strength. The armored vehicles of human civilization can no longer defend against it. Therefore, for Ao Chen, it is safer underground. Ao Chen also knew that he could not help in this situation, so he quickly entered the beast form and transformed into a palm-sized mouse with white fur and gold stripes, and quickly escaped underground. Ao Shin was a little out of breath. He used heat breath twice in a row and maximized the lightning output he could control, which depleted his physical strength very quickly. Moreover, the blow just now caused the blood in his body to surge. The zombie veteran jumped again, quickly closing the distance with him, and 10 onychomycosis stabbed at him like 10 sharp blades. With a roar, a pair of dragon claws grabbed the zombie's wrist, and the two began to wrestle. Although the zombies have reached 2 stars, in theory, humans need to be in the iron bone realm to compete with them. But relying on Qinglong's strengthened body, he actually confronted the zombies for a while. The two sides struggled, and the zombie poked its head out and bit again. Ao Shin became furious, lowered his head, and used the dragon horn on his head to push the zombie's forehead. The dragon's horn was quite sharp. With all his strength, he blinded one of the zombie's eyes. The dragon's horn even penetrated deep into the zombie's brain. If an ordinary creature suffered such a blow, it would definitely be dead, but the zombie felt no pain. He tilted his head back, pulled his head out of the dragon's horns, roared, and his arms were slightly bent. Ao Shin's eyes twitched. The reason why the zombie's limbs are stiff is because the zombie virus accumulates in the body. After the zombie virus is completely integrated and absorbed, the flexibility of the limbs will be restored again. Now the zombie's arms are slightly bent, indicating that it is accelerating the absorption and fusion of the zombie virus. This stalemate cannot continue. Zombies have unlimited physical strength, and they will be consumed to death. With another roar, the zombie threw his arms away, and he turned into a blue dragon and rose into the sky. The dragon's tail was whipped down, causing the zombie to stumble, and then struck down with a thunderous burst, making its body even more charred. Bad wind. Countless wind blades were ejected from the dragon's mouth, and even the zombie's bronze skin and iron bones had countless pieces of flesh cut off. When the storm started, Qinglong rushed down, and a pair of dragon claws grabbed the zombie's arms and lifted him up. The zombie, whose body was unstable due to the bad wind, could not use any strength and was carried directly into the sky by Qinglong. Roar! The dragon's claws exerted force, trying to tear the zombie in half. However, the zombie was also pushing inward, but he couldn't tear it open. My level is still too low. Although I can suppress zombies after transforming into a blue dragon, it is not easy to kill them. Moreover, in this moment, he actually felt exhausted. Just by flying in dragon form, he could hold on for a while longer, but if he fought, he wouldn't be able to last too long. He rushed into the sky again and pushed the zombies in the dragon's claws downwards. Boom! The zombie's body hit the tall statue enshrined in the main hall of the Taoist temple. But how can clay statues resist the hard bodies of zombies? The statue was smashed into countless pieces. The zombie rolled to the ground, his indestructible body becoming pitted. Some were destroyed by the bad wind's wind blade. Some were destroyed by heat breath and thunder roar. Some of them were worn away when they were knocked down. There were also bone fractures in his skull caused by a baseball bat. Qinglong also fell to the ground and transformed into a human form again. Ao Shin gasped for air. This was the first time he used the blue dragon form to fight with all his strength. It is indeed very strong, but it is still too forced for me now. Kaido is strong because he is capable of destroying a country by himself, and the blue dragon fruit is the icing on the cake. And since he relies entirely on the azure dragon fruit, the strength he exerts is naturally very different. Brother, eat meat. Just as he was panting, Ao Chen suddenly emerged from the ground behind him and took out a piece of meat and water and handed it to him. She had thought that her brother's physical strength would not be able to sustain it, so she entered the God-given space in advance and exchanged it for Ao Shin for water and meat that could quickly restore physical strength. Ao Shin took the meat and water and chewed it. Ao Chen also sensibly escaped underground again without being a burden. His physical strength has recovered, and the zombie veteran has also stood up. He once again transformed into a human animal form, covered his dragon claws with armed colors, and dealt with the zombies. The dual protection of armed colors and dragon scales can effectively prevent the invasion of zombie viruses. However, if the fight continues like this, he will still be dragged to death. He needs a weapon. Boom! After another collision, he quickly retreated, but at this time, it was too late to enter the God-given space to exchange weapons. Ao Chen didn't have enough points. While he was thinking about countermeasures, from the corner of his eye, he suddenly saw an iron rod falling next to the broken clay of the statue. That is, yes, he suddenly remembered that this was the Leizu temple, and this bamboo-shaped iron rod was exactly the steel whip in the hand of the Leizu statue enshrined in the Taoist temple. Is this thing at least stronger than a baseball bat? Ao Shin rushed there and picked up the bamboo steel whip from the ground. Because the statue is tall, the steel whip is thicker and longer. The length of ordinary whip weapons usually does not exceed 80 centimeters, but this one is more than 1.2 meters long. The whip body is also thicker and feels heavier in the hand. With my current strength, it's just right to use it. As soon as he picked up the bamboo steel whip, the zombie master pounced again. Its body was in tatters, but its attack was still fierce. Ao Shin used up the last of his physical strength to release the most violent electric current. Thunder! lightning and armed colors were all wrapped around the bamboo steel whip, and he smashed it down on the head of the zombie master. Boom! The huge repulsive force caused the dragon scales in his palm to shatter, but the head of the zombie veteran was also smashed into pieces under this whip. The violent current flowed down the flesh and blood of the zombies, and the stinky smell of electric roasted zombie meat came. The zombie viruses in their bodies were catalyzed by the high temperature of the current and dispersed into the air. After breaking away from the human animal form, he could no longer hold the heavy bamboo steel whip and threw it on the ground. Ao Shin felt sore, weak and exhausted all over his body. Ao Chen, who had escaped underground, heard the sound of fighting above stop and carefully appeared from a distance. When he saw Ao Shin lying on the ground panting, he quickly ran up to bring him water, meat and fresh water. After taking a short rest, Ao and Shin entered the dilapidated Taoist temple to check. At the door, the bald head I first saw had died in the aftermath of the battle. In the view, there were broken statues, overturned utensils, and mutilated corpses. These corpses were extremely mutilated and could no longer turn into zombies. The apse is where the old Taoist priest once lived. When the main hall collapsed, this was the only place that was still intact. The house was filled with all kinds of daily necessities, as well as several floor bunks. It should be safe here. Let's rest here today. Ao Shin drove the armored vehicle to the door and blocked the door to prevent others or zombies from entering. There was also a well in the backyard. He tried it and it was still able to be used. Staying outside, Ao Chen took a bath with well water. After traveling for many days, although there is no need to worry about food and drink, taking a bath is still a luxury. The water plant has long been shut down and the tap water system is no longer functioning. They are on the road and there is no place to wash up. Ao Shin, who had experienced the apocalypse in her previous life, didn't mind, but a clean-loving young girl like Ao Chen couldn't stand it. Now that she finally has a well, she is delighted. Ao Shin moved a stool and sat outside the courtyard, looking up at the night sky. Suddenly, there was a movement in my heart, and my mind entered the God-given space. As soon as I arrived here, I heard that grand and majestic voice again. Because you are the first to kill a star-rated zombie, you will receive a reward. And because you killed star-rated zombies within 10 days of the end of the world, your reward level will increase. And because you directly killed the 2-star zombie, the reward level has been increased again. Please choose one of the following 3 titles. Title: Ao Shin's spirit was shaken. Just like the talent he chose for the first time, the title is also an extremely rare thing. At least, in his last life, he had worked hard for so long and never won any title. He quickly looked forward. Sure enough, it's still the same as last time. 3 lines of choices appear directly in front of you. Title 1, Zombie Killer, the damage caused to zombies is permanently doubled. Title 2, Bounty Hunter, the points earned from killing zombies are permanently doubled. Title 3, God-given member, become a distinguished God-given space member, and you will have a 10% off redemption opportunity, and you will enjoy a 20% discount on items you redeem in the God-given space. Oh, cake seller. The 3 titles are still so tempting. Compared to killing faster and earning more, killing faster is better. Because the faster you kill, the more you earn, and you also have the possibility to challenge stronger zombies. However, both of these are not as good as Title 3. God-given membership, one-time 10% off opportunity, permanent 20% off privilege. The 2 only redemption options, the invisible black blood factor and the demonizing potion that eliminates the side effects of devil fruit, both require 100 million points. With a 10% discount, you can redeem one with 10 million points. Moreover, all items are redeemed at a 20% discount. He can use this authority to act as a middleman and earn a lot of points. There is no need to hesitate at all, just choose the 3 God-given membership. Check out your personal dashboard. Name: Ao Shin. Talent: Domineering Genius. Title: God-given member. Devil fruit. Fish fruit blue dragon form. Realm: Forging, copper skin. Combat skills: none. Equipment: Lazu whip fake. Points: 9,655. He suddenly found something in the equipment column. Lazu whip. He looked at the bamboo-jointed steel whip beside him, which was enshrined in Lazu's hand in Lazu Temple. But after all, This is just an ordinary thing, how can it be counted as equipment? There is also a fake word. The baseball bat he had before helped him kill so many zombies, but it was not used as equipment. Put the bamboo whip on your leg and observe carefully. Why is this thing so special? I saw that this steel whip was full of rust. It must have gone through countless years and may have been worshipped by thousands of people. There are 18 sections in total, and each section is engraved with Taoist runes that I cannot understand. After looking at it for a long time, I still can't see what's special about it. But when I used this thing to hit the zombie old man before, it was really easy. That old Taoist, perhaps the abbot of this Taoist temple, was infected with the zombie virus because of his old age and frailty. So he thought. I just don't know how that veteran evolved directly into a 2-star zombie in this inaccessible place. The points are already nearly 10,000, and he has consumed a lot of them to buy food, distribute it to his parents and others, and exchange knives for his sister. Otherwise, his points would have exceeded 10,000 now. Nowadays, many people don't even have 1 point, but he has already obtained over 10,000 points. This has to be said to be a miracle. A miracle that only belongs to the reborn. Would you like to have Shaochen's fruit appraised? He rubbed his chin and thought. The devil fruit appraisal fee was 1,000, which didn't seem to be much for him. But there's no rush, there's no need for that fruit now, we can wait until we get back. After a while, Ao Chen's voice came from the yard. Brother, I've finished washing, come in. In Lao Dao's bedroom, Ao Chen put the bedding he brought out on Lao Dao's bed, sat on it and stretched out. Being able to take a beautiful bath and change clothes in the apocalypse is a great happiness. After Ao Shin went in, he also washed his body with water from the well. After washing, with flames coming out of his body, he dried his wet body directly, walked into the room, and made a bed on the floor. Entering the God-given space again, this time he came to the family group he had built in the communication channel. Don't worry, parents, Shaochen and I are both fine. First, he informed his parents that he was safe, and then asked about the current situation at home. With the large amount of food and pure water he had prepared in advance, there was no need to worry about his family's life. Another big thing happened at home today. That is, the Chen family and his son upstairs knew that their family had food and borrowed it. At that time, only my mother and Lu Xiao were at home, while my father and Meng Kui were fighting zombies downstairs. Originally, my mother was kind enough to give them some, but when the father and son saw their house full of daily necessities, their eyes became red. Coupled with the fact that they coveted Lu Xiao's beauty, these two people actually wanted to kill their mother to seize supplies and beauty. Fortunately, Lu Xiao was on guard, and after practicing her domineering spirit, her physique had been greatly improved even though she had not yet awakened, so she killed the two men when they attacked. My mother was shocked at that time. Although she had killed a few zombies before, this was her first time seeing someone kill someone. After hearing this, Ao Shin felt angry, but since these two people had been killed by Lu Xiao, that was all. Mom, it's the end of the world now. We must not have the good intentions of the past. We don't know when the end of the world will end. We don't have enough of those things ourselves, so how can we give them to others? Besides, money and silk are alluring, and in the last days when order is gone, robbery is the fastest way. Hey, Lao Chen is a nice guy on weekdays. Who would have thought that he would want to kill me? The mother's tone was a little depressed, and she gradually realized that this world is no longer the same as before. By the way, I remember Lao Chen has a wife and a daughter. Where are they? Ao Shin thought of this matter. They were all neighbors, and he also knew the situation of the Chen family. Boss, they have been killed by me. Meng Kui answered at this time. When he learned that Zhang Hong was attacked, he was shocked. He promised the boss that he would not let the boss's parents be hurt. So, he was angry and kicked open the door of the Chen family upstairs and killed the two women inside. Meng Kui's decisiveness and ruthlessness surprised Ao Shin. He is different from himself. He has not experienced the end of the world, but he can kill people so decisively. This Meng Kui is not bad. Well done. He did not thank him, but praised him. He understood what the superiors should do in the end of the world. Boss, I checked. There are no living people in this building except our family. I plan to get some building materials tomorrow to block the corridor and do some defensive fortifications. Byeonchang is only a fifth-tier small city. Because of the sandy soil, it was once told that high-rise buildings cannot be built, so most buildings are only 4 or 5 stories high. Although many high-rise buildings have been built now, Ao Shin's family lives in an old-style community, which is only 4 stories high. There are 2 households on each floor, and only 8 households in a building. In addition, there are many elderly people in this old-style community. They were infected by the first wave of zombie virus and their whole family was wiped out. Some of the remaining people died directly outside, and some were killed when they came back and waited for the shrine space to open and tried to kill zombies to get points. In the end, only the Ao family and the Chen family were left. Now that the Chen family is dead, the whole building is empty. Okay, you be careful. Ao Shin agreed with Meng Kui's idea. At this time, he just asked about the family situation of the two. Meng Kui's mother was not good. After the zombie virus broke out, he was sent to the hospital in a coma. It was just Liu Xiao. Liu Xiao was different from him. After a while, she scolded her shameless, saying how could she buy a house if she didn't sell meat. I have severed ties with them. Whether they live or die has nothing to do with me. Liu Xiao said calmly, from now on, I am just the master's person, and I will do anything for you. Ao Shin sighed. The end of the world is ruthless. If they hadn't met him, they would have died on the road. In the end of the world, hiding at home honestly is much more likely to survive than running out of the city. Do your job well, I won't treat you unfairly. Then, Ao Shin told them what he had experienced along the way. Of course, he just mentioned the final battle with the zombie veterans so as not to worry them. But he still told them about the evolution of zombies and told them to be careful. Zombies are not only as strong as they are now, they will also become stronger and stronger. Once you encounter a zombie with no rotten body, only corpse spots and fishy smell, you should be careful. That is the evolved form of zombie, a flesh corpse, very strong. After ending the call, I chatted with Ao Chen for a while, checked whether there was any new news on the communication channel of the shrine space, and then fell asleep. Outside the Taoist temple, a young figure quietly appeared and came to the side of the zombie old Taoist. His little Taoist uniform was covered in dust. Master. He murmured softly, knelt down and kowtowed 3 times to the corpse of the zombie master, and then plunged into the mountains and disappeared. Early the next morning, Ao Shin opened her eyes, woke up Ao Chen who was sleeping, had a simple breakfast, then got in the car and left this shabby Taoist temple. The only change was that the special baseball bat in his hand became a thick and long bamboo steel whip. In the passenger seat, Ao Chen rubbed his sleepy eyes while dozing off. Although more than 6 days have passed since the end of the world, she, who is used to sleeping in, has not yet fully adapted to the rhythm of the end of the world. At this moment, in the provincial capital of Yuzhou, the military has gathered most of the zombies together. Countless powerful and destructive firearms exploded simultaneously, and the thundering roar was more intense than before. Countless zombies had their bodies shattered into pieces. However, as long as their heads are still there, they will grab the corpses of other zombies around them and stuff them into their mouths to chew and devour them. Set fire. The military has also discovered that just killing zombies is not enough. Blasting their heads into pieces is just for other zombies to devour them. Therefore, after research and decision, the flamethrower came in handy. After several rounds of artillery fire, soldiers wearing protective clothing and holding flamethrowers began to advance. The air temperature is getting higher and higher, and in the microscopic world invisible to the naked eye, the zombie virus is undergoing drastic changes. They split the combination and become more powerful. Finally, a piece of flesh no longer rotted and covered with corpse spots, and an agile zombie rushed out from the corpse. The flames burned its body, but could not burn it immediately. With one click, he bit through the protection of the protective suit. More and more zombies evolve into flesh zombies. Their defenses are stronger, they are stronger and faster. Not even bullets can knock them down instantly. Those sniper rifles that can directly blow people to pieces will only make a big hole in the body of a corpse, and will not have much impact on them. However, the military can still barely compete with it with the help of powerful thermal weapons. Until the increasingly high temperature catalyzed the emergence of a zombie, which roamed among the army as if it were in a deserted land. In order to kill the zombies as quickly as possible, the soldiers did not fight with them, but relied on firearms to kill them. Therefore, they had no points, no redemption of domineering power, and no strength gained through cultivation. More and more people are infected, and this scene is happening in major cities and countries. The zombie crisis, which the military could not suppress, became the straw that broke the camel's back. The trace of order that could barely be maintained suddenly collapsed. This news spread wildly in the God-given space. Until this moment, everyone was convinced. Civilization no longer exists, and the apocalypse cannot be stopped. They drove on the mountain road for another 3 days. The deep mountains were very quiet. Apart from the zombies encountered in the Taoist temple, they only occasionally encountered a few small animals that had transformed into corpses. But they are not strong and are easily solved by Ao Chen. Suddenly, Ao Chen's ears stood up and he shouted, "Brother! I feel it." In front. Ao Shin also became energetic and followed the path pointed by Ao Chen to the destination. However, much of the mountain was undeveloped, and they soon reached a place where cars could not drive. In desperation, we could only abandon the car temporarily. After locking the car on the side of the road, the two started walking. Halfway up the mountain, a thin young man was smoking here. Suddenly, he raised his head and looked down. Is a car coming? He picked up the telescope hanging around his neck and looked over there. It's still an off-road vehicle. It's probably someone who wants to hide in the mountains. 2 people, it seems a man and a woman, well, they are having an affair. After confirming, he immediately put out the cigarette butt and ran back. Not far from here, there was a tile-roofed house. After the young man ran in, he said to the 3 young men who were playing poker, "Brother Fei, 2 people came down the mountain, and they drove an off-road vehicle. There must be a lot of supplies in it. And there's a woman inside." When it came to supplies, the eyes of the card players already lit up, but when it came to women, they immediately stood up excitedly. "Skinny monkey, are you sure? Ha, a woman is here. Great, I've been suffocated to death these days. Without electricity or internet, besides playing poker, I'm so tired of it. Let's go, brothers, let's start eating meat today." With a whoop, several people threw the cards in their hands on the table, picked up sticks, hatchets and other objects and followed the thin monkey down the mountain. "Brother Fei, I've been wandering around here for the past few days and found a path going down the mountain. We will definitely be able to intercept them in front." The thin monkey is also very excited. The boring doomsday life can finally have a little more fun. At the foot of the mountain, Ao Shin and Ao Chen walked around the mountain several times before arriving at the place Ao Shin sensed. There was a large fern growing here. Walking into it, Ao Chen leaned down and uprooted a piece of fern. Under its roots, there is a strange fruit growing. The strange shape, weird and curly lines, it's the devil fruit. Great, I found another one. Ao Chen jumped up and down with excitement. This was all her fault. 4 young men just came down from the side hillside. When they saw the devil fruit in Ao Chen's hand, their eyes were dumbfounded. "Brother Fei, then, that's a devil fruit." The thin monkey's voice was trembling with excitement. Fei Zhe slapped him on the forehead. "Nonsense." He was also very excited, that was a devil fruit. Once he eats the devil fruit, he can also gain superpowers. When the time comes to hunt zombies to gain points, he can also learn domineering, exchange for weapons, and become a strong man. By then, he will dominate the country and have many younger brothers. "What kind of beauties do you want to play with?" In his imagination, he quickly shouted to Ao Chen, "Hey! Put down the fruit." Ao Chen, who was in excitement, was startled by her. Because she was so focused on her devil fruit, she didn't notice anyone coming nearby. Turning around, she saw several young men carrying hatchets and clubs, staring intensely at the devil fruit in her hand. When she turned around, these people's eyes were also staring at her. What a beautiful girl! Fei Zhe and others felt that they could only see such a beautiful girl on the internet. From her childish face, it can be seen that the girl should still be in middle school. He swallowed his saliva unconsciously. "I am so lucky today. Not only can I get the devil fruit, but also such a beautiful girl is delivered to my door." He walked forward with a lewd smile, and he ignored Ao Shin directly, and said arrogantly to Ao Chen, "Give me the fruit, and you will belong to me in the future. Follow me, and I will guarantee that you will have a good life in the future." Faced with the arrogant attitude of the young man, Ao Chen frowned his delicate eyebrows. Who are you? Why should I give it to you? Ao Shin did not speak next to him. He had the ability to see and hear, and he sensed these guys when they just appeared. But he wanted to train Ao Chen this time. These guys, I leave them to you, kill them. Ao Chen was shocked, she still didn't dare to kill people now. Ao Shin said, if you were still the ordinary girl, what would happen if you fell into the hands of these people? You can't bear it, do you think they can't bear it either? In peacetime, they are the parasites of society, and in the end times, they are the scum of the world. Such people deserve to die, not to mention that they bully you. What are you waiting for? He shouted the last sentence, and even the young men were shocked. After reacting, he cursed unhappily. What are you? Why are you barking like a dog? I'll kill you first. It's enough to keep this girl, you go to hell. Several people swung simple weapons to hit Ao Shin. Judging from the position of their attacks, they were obviously rushing to kill Ao Shin. This made Ao Chen angry. She had the same personality as Ao Shin. She might be able to tolerate bullying herself. But bullying her family is absolutely not okay. You dare to scold my brother, you are looking for death. Reaching into his arms, he stuffed the devil fruit into the treasure space and pulled out his knife. The long knife was unsheathed, flashing with cold light. After learning the three-color domineering, with Ao Shin's personal teaching, her strength improved rapidly. In addition, after fighting zombies for many days, even if she did not enter the human beast form of Duobao Rat, her strength was not comparable to these hiding thugs. The blade cut across the throat of the skinny monkey and directly cut off his head. This is the knife method honed by fighting zombies. Because only by cutting off the head of the zombie can the zombie be killed, every move of Ao Chen is to cut off the head. The skinny monkey's head fell to the ground, and Fei Zhe and others were horrified. They never thought that a girl who looked so delicate could be so decisive and cruel when killing people. To them, a knife to behead is a legend. But it was too late to get off the tiger at this time. Either kill and subdue the girl, or be killed. He was determined and cursed. You idiot, you don't want to drink toast, so you have to drink for punishment. Wait and see how I deal with you. When Ao Chen chopped off the head of the skinny monkey, he lost the tension of killing. The knife skills he had trained in the previous battle with zombies, combined with his strengthened body, were very easy to deal with these ordinary thugs. Ao Shin stood aside and watched the battle. Although the girl's fighting skills were rough, considering that she had not been training for a long time, they were already very good. Bang! The back of the knife blocked the hatchet of a young man with tattoos on his face. She stepped aside and came to his side. With one knife, another head rolled down. After another person died, the remaining two people were even more frightened. As the saying goes, one man has to sacrifice 10,000 men for nothing. If you are cowardly, you will not be able to exert your full fighting power. The blade flashed, but within a few seconds, another head rolled down. Ah Fei was so frightened that he threw away the axe in his hand, knelt on the ground and began to beg for mercy. I'm sorry, please spare me. Brother and sister, I was wrong. Just treat me like a fart. Even if you have seen zombies killing people, the impact caused by zombies killing people is still different from killing people. The opponent threw down his weapon and begged for mercy, which made Ao Chen, who had already started killing, at a loss what to do. She looked at Ao Shin blankly, not knowing what to do. Ao Shin said calmly, kill. The voice was not loud, but it carried an overbearing intimidation, and Ao Chen unconsciously wanted to obey Ao Shin's words. The young man named Fei was cut off with a long sword, and his head disappeared. Xiaochen, remember, in the last days, as long as there is an enemy, you must kill them all. Any hesitation and soft-heartedness on your part will lay the foundation for your own death. In my previous life, I died because of a moment of weakness. Ao Chen looked at the 4 corpses in front of him. These people were all killed by himself. I felt a little uncomfortable, but not to the point of vomiting. It was just the discomfort of killing someone for the first time. He nodded slightly and replied obediently, I remember, brother. The two returned the same way, but the car was still in the same place. After getting in the car, they no longer went deeper into the mountain forest, but headed out of the mountain. They had harvested 2 devil fruits, but the car was running low on fuel. If they couldn't find a gas station to replenish diesel, they would have to return now. With the further outbreak of zombie viruses, the satellite system has also collapsed, and navigation cannot continue to be used. They can only move forward with memory. I remember there was a gas station on the way we came here. We went to take a look. Driving towards the gas station, at this time, there were almost no cars on the highway frantically escaping. People either hide in the city and try to survive, or those who want to run away have already run away. However, most of the people who ran out died on the road. There is no one on the road, which means there are very few zombies. Because zombies will be attracted by popularity and gather in places where people gather. There were no obstacles along the way. After arriving at the gas station, Ao Chen was asked to wait in the car while he got out of the car to check the situation at the gas station. Fortunately, there is still some oil left here. They filled up all the empty oil drums in the car. This time, they did not continue to the west, but drove north. In this way, the direct distance from home will not be too far. We drove north for another 3 days, changing directions several times at Ao Chen's instruction. Unfortunately, no other devil fruits were found. Another supply of diesel fuel was provided on the road, and they headed northeast. There is no navigation. Based on feeling and experience, we should have left Yuzhou and arrived in the Bingzhou area. Look for 3 more days. Regardless of whether we can find it or not, we will go back. Ao Shin said, the satellite navigation has failed. If we continue running, we will probably get lost and cannot find the direction of home. Ao Chen nodded. Okay, let's look for another 3 days. After being out for so many days, she only found 2 devil fruits, which she couldn't accept. She thought, with her fruit ability, she would have to find more than a dozen fruits. After all, according to Ao Shin, there are at least 10,000 devil fruits in the world. It's good to be able to find 2. 10,000 are scattered all over the world. At most, we are only in China. We even only searched parts of Yuzhou and Bingzhou. To be able to find 2 is already beyond your capabilities, Sky. After being praised, Ao Chen felt a little happier, but he still said, 2 pills are too few. At least 1 should be given to Mom, 1 to brother Meng Kui, and 1 to sister Xiao. We are still short of 1. In fact, there are 3 fruits in her treasure room, but one of them is the thunder fruit, which she left for her brother to eat after using the magic potion in the future. She believed that her brother would definitely be able to get the 2 only redemption options in the God-given store. On a desolate road, a civilian armored vehicle was speeding on the highway. Suddenly, a burst of yellow sand rolled up. Ao Shin frowned slightly and stopped the car. Brother, what's wrong? Ao Chen, who was dozing off, was awakened by a sudden break. She looked around blankly. It was still a desolate road and there were no zombies. We have guests. Ao Shin picked up the bamboo steel whip at hand, opened the door and walked out. As he stepped out of the car, the rolling yellow sand in front of him suddenly subsided and turned into a person. In the car, Ao Chen's eyes widened when he saw this scene, nature-type sha fruit. Suddenly he lost all sleep, so he opened the car door and walked out. For her, being in an armored vehicle was not the safest place. On the contrary, it was safer when she got out. Standing on the ground, she could escape at any time through earth escape, which was far more convenient than in a car. Ao Shin heard the car door ringing and knew that Ao Chen got out of the car, but did not stop him. It was indeed not very safe in the car. The yellow sand condensed, and a young man with a slender figure and casual clothes appeared. He had a resolute face, sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, looking up and down at the Ao brothers and sisters. There are not many people left running in the wild at this time. He had his hands in his pockets and looked very relaxed. Introduce yourself, Li Wei, a natural sha fruit user. Do you want to join my force? Ao Shin replied expressionlessly, no need. Li Wei, he knew, had become famous in his last life. He was an extremely famous person not only in China, but also in the entire world. With his natural abilities, his strength improved quickly, and formed his own force, known as the Desert Emperor. In order to make this title more realistic, he even led an expedition from Bingzhou to the Gobi, all the way to the Middle East, and was even more invincible. It wasn't until several powerful men in the West were afraid that he was expanding too fast and joined forces to suppress him that they compressed his sphere of influence back. But his strength was recognized, and was rated as one of the top 10 strongest people in the world. Although he has been practicing for a short time now, he is a mysterious ancient martial arts successor. After the end of the world, his already strong physical fitness, coupled with his ancient martial arts experience, has allowed him to practice domineering faster than ordinary people. Even now, I am afraid that the armed color has been awakened. Coupled with the natural sha-sha fruit, he can kill even flesh corpses. Don't want. Li Wei was not angry at all when he was rejected. He had an intuition that this young man was something special. It was the intuition of an ancient warrior towards strong men. However, what can I do no matter how strong I am? Are there any armed colors? Can you catch your own elemental body? Even if he has an armed color, he cannot be his opponent with the newly awakened armed color. Friend, this is the end of the world. If you rashly refuse the invitation of a strong man, you will lose your life. Oh, Ao Xin put the steel whip on his shoulder and looked at Li Wei with a half smile. What can you do? Li Hui's face turned cold. Before the end of the world, he was the most dazzling one among the crowd. In the apocalypse, he is still powerful and unrivaled. My invitation out of curiosity was ignored. A punch blasted out like lightning. Ao Xin directly picked up the steel whip and smashed it down. He doesn't know how to have a fair duel with fists. It's the end of the world. Who's going to tell you about martial arts? Li Wei didn't care. His arm quickly turned into sand, and the fist in front still hit Ao Xin's cheek. However, there was sudden severe pain in his arm. Li Wei was shocked and quickly flew into the sky into elements. He could feel that when the opponent's steel whip hit his arm, it directly hit his elemental body. A powerful blow directly broke his arm. Is he armed and domineering? Li Wei was horrified. Not only was the opponent armed, but his domineering level was definitely higher than his own. How can this be? He couldn't believe it, but the next scene forced him to believe it. Think you can escape by flying into the sky? How could Ao Xin let him go so easily when he was attacked for no reason? Carrying the steel whip on his back, he transformed directly into a green dragon. After catching up with the yellow sand in the sky, he grabbed it with a dragon claw. Qinglong, Li Wei cursed secretly. You are the one who ate the blue dragon fruit. Thanks to the existence of the God-given space, many scenes of ability users fighting were recorded and uploaded. The most famous among them are the green dragon fruit, the sha-sha fruit, and a former female anchor who had the ability to create overlord flowers. However, so far, the female anchor has not announced the name of her fruit ability. In addition to them, there are also some other ability users, but their achievements are not as good as Qinglong and Sha-Sha, and their popularity is not as good as that female anchor. Li Wei knew that he had hit a brick wall. The opponent was not only domineering and powerful, but also the person with the strongest phantom beast ability. But such a person didn't talk about his abilities, so he made a mistake in judgment and broke an arm. And it's still my dominant right arm. How to fight this? Yellow sand rolled up, trying to hinder Qinglong's pursuit. Bad wind spewed out from the Qinglong's mouth, and countless wind blades shattered the yellow sand. Li Wei was angry. The opponent had a high level of control over the fruit's ability and could directly defeat his blocker. You win. Stop chasing. In desperation, he could only give in and apologize to Ao Xin. Sorry, it's my fault. However, how can an apology let Ao Xin give up? This guy is a strong competitor in the future. It would be good if he could be killed right now. A mouthful of hot breath came out, and countless yellow sands were baked into glass and fell one after another. Seeing that he was chasing after him, Li Wei could only speed up and escape. The natural flying ability is very convenient. Qinglong's flying relies on catching the flame cloud, which is relatively bulky, so that the speed of the two sides is almost the same. After chasing for several minutes, Li Wei suddenly fell to the ground. Ao Xin thought that he was exhausted and could not use the fruit's power, so he also fell to the ground. However, after landing, a zombie suddenly appeared next to them and rushed towards them to kill them. Li Hui's elementalization passed directly through the zombies. Ao Xin did not see the zombies appear because his sight was blocked by the yellow sand. This time he was caught off guard, but fortunately he had the knowledge and sense to sense the danger, so he quickly transformed into a human animal form, took off his bamboo steel whip from his back, and faced the zombies. Brother, this zombie will make amends to you. How about canceling all the things that offended you? Li Wei stood behind the zombies and did not take the opportunity to escape. Instead, he started talking with Ao Shin. Oh, what kind of apology? Ao Shin struck the zombie with a whip, and Li Wei was frightened by the violent power. Is this the power of the Phantom Beast's blue dragon form? Absolutely abnormal. I will help you kill this zombie, and the points will be yours. Li Wei said. Now the zombies are constantly evolving, first evolving into flesh corpses, and then evolving into zombies. This kind of monster is not something we can resist now, but with my help, it will be much easier for you to kill it. How about it? Ao Shin was thinking while fighting. He might be able to kill the zombies. After all, he had already experienced it once. But there is a natural ability user nearby who is eyeing him, so he will inevitably be at a loss during the fight. But if he wants to leave, zombies can't stop him. Killing a zombie is worth 1 point. 10 points for a corpse. 100 zombie points. However, if you kill someone beyond a certain level, the points will be multiplied by 10 for each level you surpass. Just like before, Ao Shin killed a 2-star zombie at the bronze level, surpassing the first level of kill, so he received 1,000 points. 1,000 points is a lot for most people, but for Ao Shin, it is not difficult. There is absolutely no need to kill this zombie. Moreover, it is not near your home and poses no threat to you. But I think it's more valuable to kill you. After Ao Shin repels the zombies, he kills Li Wei again. Are you sick? Li Wei quickly elementalized and flew towards the zombie. After passing through the zombie, Ao Shin had to face the zombie again. After repeating this for many times, Ao Shin stopped chasing him. He mocked. Don't run away if you have the guts. Not to be outdone, Li Wei replied, if you have the guts, come after me. Ao Shin, if you have the guts, don't run towards the zombies. Li Wei, kill the zombies if you dare. Ao Shin. Gone. This guy is so smart that he uses zombies as a shield. I really can't kill him for a while. Sure enough, being able to become a strong person in the apocalypse is not just about strength. Only with a quick mind and thick skin can we resolve crisis after crisis. Seeing that it was difficult to kill Li Wei, Ao Shin turned into a blue dragon and went up to the sky. I hope that when I see you next time, there will be zombies to protect you. As a result, Li Wei chased him from behind, etc. Qinglong turned around. What? Do you have to seek death? The elemental yellow sand revealed the head of Li Wei, who kept his distance from Ao Shin. I apologize to you again. It was my fault for recruiting you and attacking you. But there's a deal I want to discuss with you. Ao Shin sneered. Help me kill zombies. Do you think I'm stupid? He was not familiar with Li Wei and could not be trusted at all. Who knows whether Li Wei would stab him in the back during the so-called cooperation, or grab the head in the end. Li Wei shook his head. No, I have a devil fruit and want to make a deal with you. Huh, Ao Shin then said seriously, devil fruit. Are you willing to trade? Li Wei said, I have already eaten the sha fruit. The magic potion requires a full 100 million points. I don't know when I will save enough. Of course, I have to trade this fruit. Talk about it. Ao Shin lamented that this person was so lucky. Without his own prophetic advantage and Ao Chen's ability, he was able to get 2 fruits. Come down and talk. Seeing that Ao Shin was willing to listen, Li Wei asked tentatively. Okay, let's go back to the place we met before. He was worried about Ao Chen's safety and wanted to go back and have a look. Li Wei had no objection, and the two returned to the same place, leaving only the unwilling roar of the zombies. At the armored vehicle, Ao Chen was sitting in the front of the vehicle basking in the sun. She believed that her brother would be able to defeat that man, and she was not worried. Suddenly, the green dragon fell from the sky, followed by a burst of yellow sand. Brother, haven't you ever been beaten? Ao Chen was startled and jumped down from the front of the car, ready to run away at any moment. But after thinking about it, if I can't defeat him, I will definitely not attract the enemy to me again. In other words, brother wants to run away with him. He was ready to jump on Qinglong's back, but he saw Qinglong falling and turning into a human form, followed by yellow sand that also landed not far away and condensed into Li Hui's form. This made Ao Chen confused. quietly tugged on Ao Shin's sleeve. Brother, what's going on? Have you never been beaten? But looking at Li Hui's still drooping arms and embarrassed aura, he didn't seem very strong. Ao Shin said, how is that possible? He said he wanted to discuss business with us. Business? Ao Chen didn't know what kind of business could be negotiated in the apocalypse. According to Ao Shin, wouldn't it be through fists in the apocalypse? He has a devil fruit and wants to exchange it with us. Ao Shin's words made Ao Chen jump up, and his voice became much louder. Devil fruit. But why should we trade with him? Why don't we just rob him? The little girl has gradually adapted to the rhythm of the apocalypse, and wants to snatch everything. Li Wei, why don't you carry some people on your back? He heard it all. What kind of thinking do these two brothers and sisters have? One chases him and beats him, insisting on killing him, while the other one opens his mouth to rob him. Ao Shin said to him, tell me, what do you need? Although he could beat Li Wei violently, it was not easy to kill him. Otherwise, he would have wanted to snatch him away directly. Seeing Ao Shin's eyes, Li Wei unconsciously took a step back. These brothers and sisters still want to rob me. But now that we're here, let's talk about it first. 3 conditions. Li Wei stretched out 3 fingers. First, I want 10,000 points. Second, I want you to help me kill that zombie. Third, I want to form an alliance with you. Ao Shin was surprised that this requirement was not high. The value of a devil fruit is at least 100,000 points. This is still worth the ordinary species of animals. If it is a fantasy beast species, it will not be sold for millions of points. However, Li Wei does not know the power of the fruit in his hand now. Killing zombies only costs 1,000 points. Ao Shin has experience in killing zombies and can do it with some effort. The key is third, alliance. You are in Bingzhou and I am in Yuzhou. Even if we form an alliance, I can't help you. Ao Shin said. Li Wei said, although we are weak now, what about the future? He showed a bright smile. I can see that if you can't be inferior to others, you will definitely establish your own power. It just so happens that I am too. Given time, I believe that your power will spread throughout Yuzhou, and I will also dominate Bingzhou. At that time, we will definitely not be the only 2 rising powers, and Yuzhou borders Bingzhou. What I want is an alliance at that time. Ao Shin was surprised. It was no wonder that this man could become the world-famous Desert Emperor. His plans were so far-reaching. Now that the end of the world is only about 10 days away, he has actually thought about what will happen after he dominates a state, and forms an alliance with himself at this time. He was sure that he would be able to achieve great things. What he can do with 1 devil fruit now will cost 10 or 100 devil fruits by then. Do you really believe that we can become the strongest in Yuzhou? What if I don't recognize it then? Ao Shin squinted slightly, wanting to see how Li Wei would answer. Li Wei put one hand in his pocket and said with a smile, if you can force me to run around, I believe you will achieve great things. As for whether you will recognize it, you will have to see how strong I am. As long as I am strong enough, we can both benefit from our cooperation. Why don't you admit it? On the other hand, if I were not strong, I would still be worried about being annexed by you. Ao Shin smiled. What he said made sense. It would be great to have such an ally in the future. Okay, I agree. He hammered the bamboo steel whip on the ground with one hand and reached out to Li Wei. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ao Shin, and this is my sister Ao Chen. The corners of Li Hui's eyes twitched. He didn't know whether he should shake hands with him. He was afraid that the man would fall out after he passed by and there would be nowhere to run. However, he has always been very courageous and confident in his vision. Walking slowly, he stretched out his left hand in his pocket and held it with Ao Shin. You will be a powerful ally. But the next moment, his expression changed, and there was severe pain in his palm. Ao Shin's power was amazing. Just when he thought Ao Shin was about to fall out, Ao Shin released his palm at this moment. Happy cooperation. Li Wei breathed a sigh of relief and smiled again. Happy cooperation. The devil fruit is not on me. Please wait a moment, I will go back and get it. After saying that, he turned into yellow sand and left quickly. After he left, Ao Chen asked curiously, Brother, aren't you afraid that he will run away and not come back? Ao Shin replied, just run away. We can't kill him anyway. Wait 1 day. If he doesn't come back, we'll leave. Li Wei did not run away directly, but soon returned with a backpack. Brother Ao, you know the value of the devil fruit. How about we trade 10,000 points first? I will give you the fruit, and then we go kill zombies. Ao Shin refused. You give me the fruit first. Li Wei. But soon, he smiled and said, okay. I believe in Brother Ao's character. With that said, he took out the devil fruit from his backpack and handed it to Ao Shin. Ao Shin looked at it and didn't recognize it. He handed it to Ao Chen and said, put it away. Ao Chen nodded repeatedly and stuffed the fruit into his chest. Li Wei! Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Oh cake seller, what did I see? Why does the fruit not bulge after being stuffed in? Is that the legendary 4-dimensional cleavage? Is your sister also a devil fruit user? Ao Shin didn't hide it either, that's right. Then, he looked at Li Wei with a half smile. Do you think that if I fall out, you can hold Xiaochen hostage? Li Wei blinked. I'm not, I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Ao Chen puffed up his proud little chest. Just you. It's impossible to catch me. Li Wei asked. I wonder what kind of fruit my sister is. Ao Chen raised his head proudly. Want to know? I'll tell you if I call my sister. Li Wei said he didn't want to talk to her. If I can't beat your brother. These siblings are so annoying. After getting the devil fruit, Ao Shin added Li Wei as a friend and transferred 10,000 points to him. I knew you must have 10,000 points. Although Li Wei had some guesses, he was still surprised to see Ao Shin actually transfer 10,000 points. This means that Ao Shin has killed 10,000 zombies. There's no way he wouldn't redeem something, which means he actually gets more points. I thought I was invincible, but I didn't expect there to be such a genius in the world. Let's go and help you kill the zombies. Ao Shin and Ao Chen got back into the car, and Li Wei turned into a burst of yellow sand and sat directly in the back compartment. You are really thick-skinned. While driving, Ao Shin complained. Is your arm hurt? Can you still fight? Li Wei lowered his arms. As an ancient warrior, his spirit was indeed tenacious. Even though his bones were broken by force, he still hasn't groaned in pain. My fighting ability is not very good, but I can still use my fruit ability. Let me take a break first. This fight with you is really tiring. Ao Chen snorted. You were clearly beaten unilaterally. Li Wei pinched Yawazi with hatred. These brothers and sisters are really not the same thing. Ao Shin gave Ao Chen a thumbs up. You're so beautiful. Then he asked Li Wei, why do you have to kill that zombie? With your natural elementalization ability, he can't threaten you. Can't you kill him when you get stronger? Li Wei sighed. After the zombies evolve into zombies, they are no longer a species. Ordinary guns are no longer effective against them, and their power is still astonishing. Vehicles and houses of all kinds are unable to protect themselves from zombie attacks. I spent a lot of effort to lure it out of the city. I found you while I was resting. I wanted to invite you, but I ended up losing a devil fruit. But we found that zombies will automatically move closer to human settlements. Even if I lure this zombie out of the city, it will go back within 2 days. Now humans can't resist it. So, killing it is the best option. Therefore, after he found out that Ao Shin was the rumored blue dragon boss in the temple space, he had the idea of leading him to the zombies and using the dragon to kill the corpses. Here we are, right around here. The 3 people got out of the car and soon saw the zombie jumping aimlessly, but the direction of his jumping was always towards the city. Be careful and run away if you are in danger. Zombies are not something you can handle with your current strength. After Ao Shin gave Ao Chen some instructions, she and Li Wei headed toward the zombies. The roar of the dragon sounded, and Ao Shin transformed into a human animal form, holding a bamboo steel whip and smashing it into the zombie's head. Behind the zombie, Li Wei summoned a stream of yellow sand to wrap around the zombie's ankles to block the zombie's movement. With his ankles buried in the yellow sand, the zombie lost its footing and fell straight forward. Ao Shin would not miss this great opportunity. Strong electric current wrapped around the steel whip and suddenly hit the zombie's head. Boom! There was a loud noise, the zombie's fontanelle opened, and green brain matter flowed out. But that wasn't enough, another breath of hot breath was spurted out, and the zombie's hair and clothes were burned to ashes. But the zombie also broke free from the shackles of the yellow sand at this time, jumped up and rushed towards Ao Shin. The zombie's sharp nails were inserted into the steel whip, making a sound of gold and iron clashing. Ao Shin swept the steel whip across, trying to break the zombie's arm bones. At the same time, the dragon's tail whipped the zombie's calf knee from the other side. The zombie wanted to resist, but yellow sand rolled behind him again. The yellow sand turned into a sword and slashed at the zombie's head. One Ao Shin can barely suppress the zombies, and Li Wei behind him is confident in his output. Isn't the sha fruit able to absorb water? If you suck the water out of his body and turn him into a mummy, you might be able to weaken his combat power. Ao Shin made suggestions to Li Wei very thoughtfully. But Li Wei didn't want to accept it at all, and felt that there were always unscrupulous people who wanted to harm me. What if the zombie virus from him is absorbed into my body? Tisk tisk. This guy is quite careful. Since you can't trick him, forget it. Ao Shin can deal with zombies with peace of mind. The steel whip fell, and the zombie's body was hit by the high-voltage electric current, emitting a burning smell. Taking advantage of the yellow sand to restrain the zombie's limbs again, Ao Shin quickly hit one of its arms with a steel whip. This arm has been hit many times by the steel whip, and it is covered with cracks. Now after another hit, it will break directly. The arm fell limply, and the dragon's tail slapped the zombie's abdomen, knocking it down. Then, the steel whip fell like a sudden rain, breaking both of his thigh bones. The zombie roared, but his leg bones were broken and he couldn't stand up. He stepped on the last intact claw of the zombie. The strong force suppressed the zombie's ability to pull out his hand. The steel whip slammed down and removed the last arm. The limbs are broken, you chop off his head. He pulled away and said to Li Wei. Li Wei nodded, his left arm turned into a sand blade, and slashed towards the zombie's neck. Boom. The sand blade is sharp, and even if the zombie's skin is hard, its throat is the most vulnerable point. What's more, Ao Shin's several fire breaths and thunder and lightning bombardments have made his skin much more fragile. But even so, Li Wei chopped off the sand blade more than 10 times in a row before the zombie's head rolled off and he could no longer struggle. This steel whip of yours is really cruel. After cutting off the zombie's head, Li Wei was surprised to find that he had gained 10,000 points. Because he is not yet in the copper skin realm, killing this zombie is a 2-level kill, and he will directly receive 100 times the points. He had tried this zombie's defense, but he couldn't break it by himself. But now, Ao Shin used a steel whip to smash the hardest limbs directly. If the thunder and fire hadn't weakened the zombie's defense, he wouldn't even be able to behead him. Thinking about the blow that directly broke his arm bone, he secretly cursed a pervert in his heart. He secretly murmured, "Are all fantasy beasts so strong?" Instantly, I felt that my sha fruit no longer smelled good. Ao Shin shrugged. He still had to leave the zombies to Li Wei, otherwise, he would have smashed the zombies' heads long ago. Walking towards the car, Ao Chen was looking at the fighting there. When she saw them coming back, she asked curiously, "Brother, why don't you just kill this zombie and remove its limbs?" Ao Shin explained, "In order for Li Wei to kill it." But, Ao Chen frowned, as if there was something he couldn't figure out. Killing zombies is just for points. Can't you just kill it and give the points to Li Wei? Ao Shin and Li Wei looked at each other. Yes, why are you going to all this trouble? Another thought, no, Li Hui's level is lower than his own, and the points he gets from killing zombies are 10 times as much as his own. This seems to be a way to make a fortune. After crippling the zombies and letting Ao Chen kill them, wouldn't the reward points be increased tenfold? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.